This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news, intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversation. 96.9 FM. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Good morning. The Attorney General says the government taking action on recent environmental incidents, growing demands for social assistance. The PLP chairman, Fred Mitchell, says people in public life in mature years should move on. And price control margins for pharmacies end today. It's all straight ahead this morning. I'm Dwight, and this is Morning Blend.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's the start of the end old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning again, Baha 2023. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Again, I'm Dwight Strachan. Coming up this morning, we are going to be talking with Shakespeare in Paradise, Ringplay Productions, and the Dundas Theatre about their year of Bahamian theatre. And the first play they're putting on as part of this, still standing. We'll get the details about this and what you need to do if you want to attend. And later in Morning Blend Business, we're going to get a preview of this week's annual Bahamas Business Outlook. That's coming up on Thursday. We'll get a little preview this morning. That's all straight ahead, but first, it's time for the Overnight. The latest breaking news from while we're sleeping and the top national and international headlines this morning. In the overnight, the Office of the Attorney General is taking decisive action on two recent environmental incidents that happened in Bahamian waters. That's according to Attorney General Ryan Pinder. He was responding to F&M leader Michael Pintard, who demanded that Pinder explain what action the government has taken regarding a diesel spill that happened in Exuma last July and the sinking of a cargo ship in waters off Abaco in December. Pinder saying the government considers the environmental protection of the Bahamas as a sacred asset of the people. He says the administration has done more to advance the environmental protection and climate consciousness of the Bahamas than any other government, including the one that the opposition leader was a member of. In July 2022, 35,000 gallons of diesel fuel leaked in waters in Exuma from the MV Arabian as it was offloading fuel to BPL. Officials believe that there was a breach in the hose that ran from the supply ship. In December, the government said that a cargo ship, the MV Onega Traveler, sank in waters off near Abaco. The tanker was carrying ferrics and had heavy fuel oil and marine gas on board. Regarding the spill in Exuma, Pinder says that they've now received final incident reports from all impacted agencies and are concluding witness interviews in preparation for filing appropriate action against the owners and operators of the ship. That should happen by the end of the month. And with the sinking of the MV Onega Traveler off Abaco, Pintard says the Office of the Attorney General is in constant communication with the Department of Environmental Planning and Protection regarding the cleanup efforts and any subsequent environmental damage. He says the cleanup remains underway but has been hampered by bad weather. Prime Minister Philip Davis will meet with the United States Vice President Kamala Harris today to discuss issues concerning security and migration. According to the Office of the Prime Minister Davis traveled to Miami yesterday and then to Washington, D.C. In D.C., he will visit the White House and meet with Harris to discuss issues of national security, including illegal migration and gun trafficking. The Office of the Prime Minister says Davis will then attend meetings with the Organization of American States, where, as chairman of CARICOM, he will outline priorities for the region and underscore the importance of cooperation in promoting security and economic growth. Drugs, cell phones, Wi-Fi boxes, and shanks among some of the items officers found during a multi-agency operation at Bahamas Department of Correctional Services. This happened Sunday night and early Monday morning. The operation consisted of officers from the police force, defense force, immigration department, and the prison, and lasted for 8.5 hours. They found 35 cell phones, chargers, 40 shanks, Wi-Fi boxes, drugs, and cigarette lighters. The items were found during a meticulous, we're told, search of prison inmates and their cells. Price control margins agreed to between the government and pharmacists to bring economic relief to Bahamians purchasing medications will fall away as of today. Bahamas Pharmaceutical Association President Shantia McBride confirming that individual pharmacies will now provide their own economic relief to customers as they see fit. And PLP Chairman Fred Mitchell says that people in public life who are in mature years should learn to move on and guide future leaders instead of trying to hold on forever and, quote, think that it's all about us. In a voice note to party supporters, Mitchell pointed to a CARICOM heads of government meeting set to take place in New Providence next month. He says the experience is not new for him. He said, quote, in my 30-plus years of engagement in official political public life, I've been able to see and experience so many things and now benefit me as I face new challenges. He brought up Mark Twain and the expression that reports of his death were greatly exaggerated. But he said, as chairman of the PLP and as minister, quote, what drives me in all my actions, both public and private, is that saying from Shakespeare, quote, all the world's a stage, we are merely players, and each one in his time plays his many parts. Mitchell did not name anyone in particular, but his reference to majority rule could lead some to perceive his statement as a veiled response to comments made by former Governor General Dame Marguerite Pindling on Majority Rule Day last week. During a ceremony at her late husband's mausoleum, Dame Marguerite accused the PLP of using his memory and legacy for its own benefit. Her comments proved hugely controversial. Overseas, the death toll from a weekend Russian missile strike on an apartment building in southeastern Ukraine climbing to 41 today after the body of a child was pulled from the rubble. Officials say it was the deadliest attack of the war on civilians at one location since the spring. Another 25 residents of the building in the city of Dnipro were still missing, according to the governor for the region. Emergency crews had cleared about 90% of the rubble during a 63-hour search since the Saturday afternoon strike. There were 79 wounded people, 28 of them hospitalized and 10 in serious condition. About 1,700 people lived in the multi-story building. Some people were trapped on upper floors, with some signaling for help with lights on their cell phones. The latest deadly Russian strike on a civilian target is in the 11th-month war triggered outrage globally. It also prompted the surprise resignation on Tuesday of a Ukrainian presidential advisor who said the Russian missile was shot down by the Ukrainian air defense system and exploded when it fell, a version that would take some of the blame off the Kremlin's forces. And for the first time in decades, China has fewer people than it did at the start of last year. That's according to official figures released today. The world's most populous country has worried for years about an aging citizenry and the effect it would have on the economy and society. But its population was not expected to go into decline for almost a decade. The National Bureau of Statistics reporting that the country had 850,000 fewer people at the end of 2022 than the previous year. The tally includes only the population of mainland China, excluding Hong Kong and Macau, as well as foreign residents. Over 1 million fewer babies were born than the previous year, amid a slowing economy and widespread pandemic lockdowns. The Bureau reported 9.56 million births in 2022 compared to 10.62 million in 2021. Deaths rose from 10.14 million to 10.41 million. It wasn't immediately clear if the population figures were affected by the COVID outbreak that was first detected in the central Chinese city of Wuhan before spreading around the world. China has been accused by some specialists of underreporting deaths from the virus by blaming them on underlying conditions, but no estimates of the actual number have been published. China's population has begun to decline 9 to 10 years earlier than Chinese officials predicted and the United Nations projected. China has sought to bolster its population since officially ending its one-child policy in 2016. Since abandoning the policy, China sought to encourage families to have a second or even third child, with little success, reflecting attitudes in much of the East, where birth rates have fallen precipitously. In sports, it's official. After 6 productive years together, Bahamian women's professional basketball player Jonquil J.J. Jones and the Connecticut Sun, they're parting ways. Jones was traded to the New York Liberty in a 3-team trade on Sunday. The move was made official late Sunday. According to reports, Jones listed the Liberty as her preferred destination. In her 6 years with the Sun, Jones led the team to 2 appearances in the WNBA Finals, and is just 2 years removed from the Most Valuable Player MVP season, and is a former Most Improved Player and 6th Woman of the Year in the league. The Liberty have suddenly entered the championship picture now, adding Jones to a lineup that includes 2020 number 1 overall pick Sabrina Ionescu and former league Most Improved Player, All-Defensive First Team player Benia Laney. You can read all about it in today's Guardian Sports section. After an exciting wild card weekend, the final game in the weekend in the NFL playoffs ended with a snoozer. The Dallas Cowboys cruising to a 31-14 win over Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers Monday night. The Cowboys' first road playoff win in 30 years was largely devoid of drama after a weekend full of tight games and incredible comebacks. Now it's on to the divisional round, which begins Saturday. In the AFC, the Chiefs will host the Jaguars, while the Bills will host the Bengals. In the NFC, the Cowboys travel to the 49ers, while the Giants hit the road against the Eagles. Wrapping up the wildcard weekend on Monday night, Dallas quarterback Dak Prescott completed 25 of 35 passes for 305 yards and played turnover-free ball for the first time in 8 games as the Cowboys dominated the listless Bucs in what may turn out to be Brady's last game in a Tampa Bay uniform. Well, of course, that game leading to lots of speculation like that. Will this be Brady's last game? If Tom Brady retires in the offseason, he'll walk away following one of the worst playoff games of his career. The 7-time Super Bowl champion had a tough night against Micah Parsons and the Cowboys, tossing his first red zone interception with the Buccaneers in that loss. Brady won't be returning home to a Bay Area for a rematch against Brock Purdy and the San Francisco 49ers in the NFL divisional round. He may be going home for good. The 45-year-old 5-time Super Bowl MVP already retired once after last season, only to return 40 days later. He said he'll take more time to make his decision this time around. That's sports. And that's the overnight. Time for your first look at weather. In your first look at weather for this morning, you've got that stable air mass that's going to remain across the islands as the dominating high pressure drifts eastwards. That will continue through the middle of the week. Beachgoers should still stay out of the water, and mariners should exercise caution due to hazardous sea conditions. For all areas today, the forecast calls for partly sunny and mild conditions, becoming fair and cool tonight. For boaters, small craft advisory continues. Winds southeast to south at 10 knots or less, falling light and variable at times in the northwest Bahamas, east to southeast at 10 to 15 knots in the central and southeastern islands. Seas 1 to 3 feet in the northwest Bahamas, but 2 to 4 feet in the central and southeastern Bahamas. Seas 5 to 7 feet in moderate northeasterly swells. Temperatures right now in Nassau, we are at about 58 degrees under fair skies. We're looking at highs getting up to around 77 Fahrenheit, 25 Celsius, getting back down to about 52 Fahrenheit, 11 Celsius tonight. How much longer will the cool temperatures last? We'll tell you in the extended outlook coming up after traffic in just a bit. You're listening to Morning Blend. When we come back, we're discussing the day's top stories right here on your home for fresh news and smart talk all day. Guardian Radio 96.9.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
Legacy College Readiness and Tours. Already get the first set of knowledge. Now it's time to prepare you for college. You're thinking so much you gotta do. Legacy will handle that for you.
Legacy College Readiness and Tours is committed to providing a comprehensive guide through the college selection process, regardless of a student's academic profile. There are many ways one should engage in college selection process. Word of mouth, extensive research, college fairs, and if possible, the most important, college visits. A campus visit is your opportunity to get a first-hand view of a college. A college catalog, brochure, or website can only show you so much. To really get a feel for the college, you need to check out the town, the city, walk around the quad, sit in a class, and visit dorms. College tours are an important part of the college selection process, and Legacy College Readiness and Tours offers that opportunity. If you're interested in hearing more about college campus tours and summer workshop prospects, give us a call at 242-809-5278 or email us at legacycollegetours@gmail.com.
What if I told you that the future is here? That is not some magical door we walk through, but a place we create. It's home. It's a place where you can download a 2-hour movie in seconds and stay connected to loved ones even when traveling far from home. Where internet moves at lightning speeds, smoother and more reliable than anything you've ever seen. This future-proof technology can take you to worlds that you can only imagine. The future is here. The future is home. The future is Alive Fiber.
Good morning, everyone. Hello? Hello? Oh, sorry, I was on mute. Okay, I see we have just about everyone, and of course Tom drops off, as per usual. Let's just wait a minute here. He always comes right back, and we're almost ready, and... oh, whoever's dog that is, please go on mute. Why won't it let me share my screen? Okay, looks like we're ready to start.
We're like a video conference with no technical issues. CG Atlantic, agents and brokers. Good like that.
Is your 2023 goal to move into your own home? Well, future homeowner, enjoy another payday. Build or buy a home with financing from CIBC First Caribbean, and you'll receive cash back every month for 1 year. A home is one of your greatest investments, so secure one soon. Visit CIBCFCIB.com/homeowners payday for more info. Offer valid from January 9 through to March 31, 2023. Terms and conditions apply.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all the day.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's here. It's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. 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 Wake up, wake up. Wake up.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can read us at Morning Blend 969 or Facebook.com/Morning Blend 969. Text us on the Guardian Radio text line powered by BTC 422-4796. Standard text rates apply. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan. Coming up this morning in our 8 o'clock hour, we're going to be talking about Still Standing. That's a new play as part of the Year of Bahamian Theater. And that's brought to you by Shakespeare in Paradise and Ring Play Productions, along with the Dundas Theater. They're going to be doing this all year. They'll tell us about that and about this play and what we can expect. That opens this week, so get ready for that. And also this week is the annual Bahamas Business Outlook. That's going to be on Thursday. We're going to get details about that and a preview of what we can expect coming up in Morning Blend Business. So a lot to get to on this Tuesday morning. Let's begin, though, with what else is in the news. And in the news, quite a bit happening. We learned yesterday that the Prime Minister Davis, is going to be meeting with U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris. That's going to happen today. They're going to be talking about a number of issues, including national security, illegal migration, and gun trafficking. That's while he's in D.C., and he's also going to be taking place in the OAS meetings, the Organization of American States, where he is now the Chairman of CARICOM, and he will outline the priorities for the region and underscore the importance of cooperation in promoting security and economic growth. All right. That's happening. We understand that the price control margins for pharmacies end today, and we're told that pharmacies will now provide their own economic relief to customers as they see fit. We'll talk about that a little bit more in business. We'll hear more on that. The big headline in the Nassau Guardian, growing demands for social assistance. Minister Obi Wilshcombe saying the need among Bahamians is significant. Our Candia Dames writing about this, with prices elevated and many families possessing very limited resources to get by. The Department of Social Services has in recent months seen a growing demand for assistance. According to Wilshcombe, he says, quote, you still have a situation with people being displaced and challenged in finding a steady job. You have people still in search for shelters. Inflation is a contributing factor. That's why we're doing things across the board to make a difference. We're trying to increase provisions to ensure that people can get the assistance. But there's a reality, demands are greater. The minister said that, quote, $2 yesterday may be 50 cents today. That's the reality. A dollar is not as strong as it used to be. Then you have another situation here. Think about the disabled. The high cost already is for them, and their dollar is not of the same value as yours because of their demands, stuff that they must provide for themselves. It's not easy. So we're trying to meet the needs as we go along. A specific breakdown of the 2022 numbers, not immediately available, but the minister reported that in 2020, 97,872 people received food assistance. In 2021, the number dipped to about 95,000, but Wilshcombe says that in October, November, and December, the numbers climbed. That's last year, 2022. He estimated that they went from 12,000 people across the country receiving food assistance per month to about 14,000 to 15,000 per month. And he says that's just food. That doesn't include medical assistance. That's not the home or shelter assistance. And he says, quote, this is why when we talk about the reality of our social dilemma, we need to look at where people are. All right, so let's get your reaction to this. We've seen this coming, and some people have been calling in for years saying that it's a real crisis out there. And of course, if you talk to anybody who runs a food bank or any place that provides meals, they'll tell you that the need is great and has been going up for some time now. What do you think is happening out there? Is it because we were seeing that there's some sparks in the economy, things are picking up in some regards, but of course that came at the same time, as the minister said, inflation and prices that always seem to be going up. What is the issue, and what more needs to be done from your perspective? What aren't we getting? What maybe isn't the government getting? What is happening really? Give us a call, 325-4316, 325-4259. And I believe the other line is back up, yes? 323-6232. All the lines are supposedly working now. 325-4316, 325-4259, 323-6232. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. There's something that you've seen that we just don't do here that we should be doing, and that might help in the situations that we're seeing, a growing need for social assistance. You can text us, 422-4796. All right, so let's talk about that. And also the government responding to concerns from the F&M about environmental incidents, recent incidents, and wanting to know what the government's doing. Well, Ryan Pintard, the Attorney General, is responding. All right, Travis Cartwright-Carroll writing about that, saying that the Office of the Attorney General is taking decisive action on two recent environmental incidents that happened in Bahamian waters. Pintard was responding to F&M leader Michael Pintard, who demanded that Pintard explain what action the government has taken regarding a diesel spill that happened in Exuma last July and the sinking of a cargo ship in waters off Abaco in December. Pintard saying, quote, the government of the Bahamas considers the environmental protection of the Bahamas as a sacred asset of the people of the Bahamas. The PLP administration has done more to advance the environmental protection and climate consciousness of the Bahamas than any other government, including the one the leader of the opposition was a member of. You might recall that in July of last year, 35,000 gallons of diesel fuel leaked in waters in Exuma from the MV Arabian as it was offloading fuel to BPL. Officials believe that there was a breach in the hose that ran from the supply ship. The fuel coalesced into a small cove near the old naval base in Georgetown and was cleaned up over several days. In December, the government said that a cargo ship, the MV Onega Traveler, sank in waters near Abaco. The tanker was carrying ferrics and had heavy fuel oil and marine gas oil on board. Now, with the Exuma spill, Pintard said, quote, "We have now received final incident reports from all impacted agencies and are concluding witness interviews in preparation for filing appropriate action against the owners and operators of the MV Arabian by the end of the month, pursuant to the environmental laws of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. With respect to the recent sinking of the MV Onega Traveler off the coast of Abaco, the Office of the Attorney General is in constant communication with the Department of Environmental Planning and Protection regarding the cleanup efforts and any subsequent environmental damage." He said, quote, "The cleanup remains underway, having been hampered by bad weather. The Office of the Attorney General can advise that the Alpha Shipping Company, the owner of the MV Onega Traveler, has engaged Resolve Marine Company for the removal of the wreck, and the wreck is expected to be removed expeditiously." Now, Pintard says that when the AG's office receives its final report from the Port Department, the Department of Environmental Planning and Protection, and the Department of Environmental Health Services, it will pursue all legal recourse available to the government under the laws of the Bahamas. Pintard said the government has not expended any funds for the cleanup and remediation of those incidents. But back to the Pintard statement, he said the country stands to lose up to $60 million in uncollected fines because of the administration's failure to act. The AG responding to that, saying that the leader of the opposition should not make such a, quote, reckless forecast. He said, quote, "It is not only inappropriate, but would appear to undermine the judicial function of the Bahamas. In this vein, I caution him against any further comments that could prejudice a court action." Okay. I want to get your reaction to that as well. Give us a call. 323-6232. 325-4316. 325-4259. So, those are some big stories there. Other things catching people's eye and ear and the headlines in the papers today. Did you see this? The raid, was that the good word? Is that a good word to use? Raid at the prison, yielding some interesting finds. The police reporting that an early morning raid on Monday and late Sunday night yielded drugs, cell phones, Wi-Fi boxes, and shanks. Just some of the items they confiscated during a multi-agency operation at Bahamas Department of Correctional Services. The operation consisted of officers from the police force, defense force, immigration department, and the prison, and lasted for 8.5 hours. They found 35 cell phones, chargers, well, of course you need that, 40 shanks, Wi-Fi boxes, now that's drugs, and cigarette lighters. We're told the items were found during a meticulous search of prison inmates and their cells. Meticulous. Wow. A lot of people need Wi-Fi boxes, but nice to know they have them at the prison. What do you make of that, folks? Let us hear your comments on that. And any interesting theories on how they're getting in there. 323-6232. 325-4316. 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. And yeah, continue to send your texts. We'll get to those text messages. We'll get to those in a bit. This one here, did you hear it? Do you listen? Do you get Fred Mitchell's daily, early morning voice notes? Yesterday, he said some very interesting things about people in public life in their mature years and what they should be doing. And he's admitting, because yes, you know this, he's up there as well, as he's reached the 70 now. But take a listen to this, and let's get your reaction to it. This is Fred Mitchell. He in his voice note yesterday, not the one today, and talking about all the experiences he's had in his many years and about an upcoming meeting. Take a listen.
To all the prime ministers of the CARICOM nations. This is not a new experience for me, of course, personally, but in my 30-plus years of engagement in official political public life, I've been able to see and experience so many things that now benefit me as I face new challenges. I think of the expression publicized and popularized by Mark Twain, reports of my death are greatly exaggerated. As chairman of the PLP, as a minister, what drives me in all my actions, both public and private, is that saying from Shakespeare, all the world's a stage, we are merely players, and each one in his time plays many parts. The song says, know when to hold 'em, know when to fold 'em, know when to walk away, know when to run. It is important in our public life when we become mature not to allow public decisions to be driven by prejudice and a sense of entitlement. We own nothing, and it is certain we will carry nothing out. There is a time to pass on the baton. Those of us of mature years, I enter my 70th year this year, are here to guide and protect and pass on, not try to hold on forever and think that it's all about us. When we think it's all about us, we come off as being self-absorbed and ungrateful. So I look at the young people who organized that ceremony on Majority Rule Day at the church, St. Agnes, and in the cemetery, and I say to them, job well done. The Bahamas belongs to all of us, not to one single person. As Prime Minister Davis faces the world abroad this week, we are proud to know that we have a great generation of young Bahamians, male and female, ready to take up the mantle in a heartbeat. God bless you. God bless the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. And as we salute our young Bahamians on this Monday, right here in Washington, D.C., it's still PLP all the way.
Okay. All right. So, who was he talking about? I mean, it could be so many people, right? It's so many people, but, many immediately went to what happened last week. I don't know. I'm not too sure about that. I don't know if it's necessarily that person. But including in the Nassau Guardian today, writing that Mitchell did not name anyone in particular, but his reference to the majority rule could lead to some perceiving his statement as a veiled response to comments made by former Governor General Dame Marguerite Pindling on Majority Rule Day last week. During a ceremony at her late husband's mausoleum, Dame Marguerite accused the PLP of using his memory and legacy for its own benefit. Her comments proved highly controversial. She says she did not want anyone to play her husband cheap. She say it like that, yeah? And called for an apology from Mitchell, who later assured that there was no disrespect intended toward her. Now, I don't even know if this is directed toward her. I think it could be a lot of people, though. But let's get your reaction to it. What do you make of that? And should he practice what he preaches? He said he's seen everything now, and he's here to assist the younger folks along the way. 323-6232. 325-4316. 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. Okay, so that's a lot we've thrown out there. Let's get your reaction to it, folks. Some of your messages are coming in. So as we said, we talked a bit about social assistance, the need for that, the environmental issues that the Attorney General's responding to from Michael Pintard, and giving him a little warning there to be careful with the kinds of things he says in these statements. This search at the prison, Wi-Fi boxes, how many of you need those? They've got them at the prison, apparently. But yeah, cell phones, drugs, shanks, all kinds of stuff. And now Mitchell with his comments to mature individuals in public life. All right, this is a disturbing text here. Please tell us more. This person says, I'm a disabled person living in Andros and was told by social services in Fresh Creek that I can't receive any assistance for January. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say to that. There must be. Well, give us some more information. I don't understand. I don't understand. Okay. This text here. Why, oh, why do you all play this brother's WhatsApp messages? This is so ghetto. Why should we care about his personal opinions? Well, Texter, he is not only the Minister of Foreign Affairs, he is the PLP chairman and a member of Parliament. It's a lot of things. So it's not just, Dwight's inspirational words for the day or something. It's not like that. That's 3 very key positions, and potentially with international ramifications, depending on what's said. So, okay. This text here. Fred Mitchell is one of those persons who needs to go. Wow. Boy, okay. He's beloved in his constituency, though. A really great MP. So I think people keep putting him back. Or is it just the wave that we do? It doesn't matter who we run. Which one is it? Okay. This one says here, all these things could have come from the prison guards. That's about the raid. Well. And if that is the case, then what? What do we do? What do we do if that is the case? You need to raid the guards too? What should happen here? Do they have enough cameras at the prison to see what's going on? Do they need more? Do they need them? What do you think? This person says here, if you believe that Minister Mitchell didn't mean Dame Marguerite, then I have a bridge to sell you. I don't necessarily know if he meant her, but he could mean several people. Scores of people. All right? This person says, that can't be Fred talking, not passing no baton, still roughing up Lady P. He's the one who needs to step down. Well, and this text here, well, this is awesome news. Does that mean that Mitchell will not be seeking re-election? Is that what you got from that? I don't know. This is another text. How is the top brass at the Department of Corrections still, how do they still have a job? I mean, that's a lack of duty on their behalf. Well, I don't know. Is that fair? I mean, is that stuff happens. You can't personally control every part of an institution like that, right? Why can you imagine that? The employees are taking your pencils and notepads at work, and you think the boss should get fired because they're really? I mean, I don't. Okay, that's an interesting way to look at it. And it's not like this is a new thing. And this is a known thing all over the world. You would see, you'd be shocked what you'd find at prisons, what they can create. But do they have enough of these searches? Right? Do they do them frequently enough? Is it difficult to get it in there? Like, it's one thing for it to get there, but how easy is it? And firing the top, I don't know what that would do. That wouldn't change anything, I'm sure. More text messages. You can send yours, 422-4796. Give us a call, 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Back to Mitchell. This person says that Mitchell can't take last, so of course he was talking to Dame Marguerite. Find a corner, please, Fred, and take several seats. I skipped out a line they put in here. It's unnecessary, and I can't read that anyway. But sure. All right. But isn't it good advice? Don't you all feel the same way? And you're saying Mitchell should take his advice, right? So, yeah, once you get to a certain point, do you have to comment on everything? Do you really need to be, right? Because there were some people who were responding to what happened last week, and like, where did they find this person from to talk, to give their opinion on it? Maybe he means some of those folks. Like, why are you talking? At least he's an elected official. Some of them aren't. Or do you feel that, these are the wise elders who do need to share more of their views? As, maybe years out of the spotlight has given them new insight into our challenges. Right? We need to be more like maybe the Japanese, or respect our elders and go to them for wise counsel. Or do you feel that they are the reason we are in the problems we are now because of the short-sightedness of their decisions back 20, 30, 40 years ago? Which one? Which side do you fall on? Or is it all of the above? All of the above. Let's hear from you. 323-6232. 325-4316. 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. All right. People are loving this Majority Rule Day squabble story. Even days after we'd moved on from that, people were texting us, and we weren't even talking about it on the show, but they were still texting in about it. And it seems to be the case again today. All right, this person says here, Dwight, I think Dame Marguerite needs to take a seat because she seems, okay. She reminds me of Joe Biden. I'm editing here because this texter has, wow. Okay, texter. Thanks a lot. This one says, didn't a minister state that she didn't see any charges to be brought after the oil spill? She didn't see the need for any charges? Well, I can't really recall that, but I wouldn't be surprised. And what do they know often, right? Seriously, what do they know? So, All right. Continue to send your messages in, folks. I want to talk about the headline of the Tribune today. Government stalling on marital rape law. Women's rights activists have accused the government of dragging its feet on marital rape legislation, suggesting the Davis administration is stalling with ongoing consultations. The comments came after Social Services Minister Obi Wilskram said on Wednesday that officials were hoping to have consultations wrapped up regarding proposed marital rape legislation in the next several weeks. When contacted for comment, Equality Bahamas Director Alicia Wallace said women's rights are not a priority on the government's agenda. She said, quote, by dragging its feet and finding excuses to stall, a clear message is being sent to everyone in the Bahamas that the government is less concerned about women's rights to protection from violence than it is about the issues it attends to and the people it panders to. Wow. Now, Wilskram told reporters the ongoing consultation includes meetings with church leaders, and that they're still waiting for a date from the Bahamas Baptist Missionary Education Convention to meet with them, which is, again, we said last week, quite interesting that, they're waiting for them to say when they want to meet with them. I mean, that's, well, boy, have you ever heard of such a thing? Anyway, we're hoping to have it done very shortly because in March we intend to have a National Women's Convention that will coincide with International Women's Day. That's what Wilskram said last week. Remember that? But Alicia Wallace says that it was absurd that the government was waiting on a date to meet with another religious group when there was a symposium held last September when numerous religious leaders attended. She said that the government should not treat this issue as though it is debatable. She said, quote, it is a fact that women are raped and that in most cases the rapist is known to the victim or survivor. It is a fact that sexual violence is a violation of human rights and a fact that the government is responsible for ensuring that human rights are upheld. The criminalization of marital rape is necessary to give married women equal protection under the law and to affirm personhood and bodily autonomy. There's nothing any group can say to make any of that untrue. All right, let's get your reaction to that. We'll read more of the story in a bit, but let's hear what you have to say. Do you feel the government is dragging its feet, or are they really just seeking to get as many people on board before this becomes any more out of control than it is? 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Morning, Dwight. How you doing?
Doing well.
Man, listen, Bahamian people really, really, really need to take a step back and think before they say certain things, Dame Marguerite, right? Like, of course, everybody know Fred pulled back subtly, and we know exactly who he was meaning in his broadcast this morning. Mm. But what Bahamian people ain't understanding, that is Dame Marguerite's husband, grave. That woman is go there probably once a week or whatever, even if there is an occasion, she has the right to go there. And if anybody wants to go there, they need to notify that woman or go there by themselves through the night or through another day. But a day like that is expected that Dame Margaret would be there. And then you're going to take a delegation of the FNM and the PLPs there, and you ain't respect the woman enough on her husband's grave? Come on, man, Dwight. The Amos need to stop her, but she need to rest herself. Dame Marguerite is in retirement. But that don't negate the fact that you must be respectful and you go to that woman's husband's grave. And that's basically what I want to say. They must need to pull back, man, Dwight. And with reference to the prison, the people who speak and they're so slick. Because I used to go there and I used to get letters and things in around the guards and stuff like that.
What?
So between the guards and the people who go there, they need to tighten up their socks.
Why did you do that? Why did you do that?
Slackness. I was younger and it was slack. And of course, I used to get a couple of dollars.
Oh boy.
And I came to say, nah, you get a couple of dollars from the inmates. And it's slack. It's very, very slack. And I agree with the one of the texters. Everything falls on leadership. Because if the leadership slack, then everything else will fall in place.
So you think the leadership, you think the commissioner should be made to resign because of that?
Yeah, man, white people just resign, especially around in a well-constructed society. People just have to resign for things what they say. Just what they say or the rock. You know what I mean? But before, I'm glad you hold me up for 2 seconds. I would like to say a very, very, very special thank you and hello to a nurse that I think is very, very, very excellent at her job and her patients. And that is Nurse Maycock at the dialysis unit. She's a very, very, very excellent nurse, Dwight. Thanks for taking my call.
Okay. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it. All right. 323-6232. 325-4316. 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us 422-4796. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Hey, morning, Glenn. How you guys doing this morning?
Doing well. Good morning.
I have a quick issue with this whole Fred Mitchell and his delegation go around the cemetery. Why every Fred Mitchell and his crew got to go around the graveyard disturbing St. Linden? I mean, can they erect a monument or some kind of statue or some kind of edifice that they could go and celebrate St. Linden instead of going around his mark grave? You know, that don't make no sense to me. And another point, also, can you name me one piece of legislation that this administration have put through since they came into power? So this whole model route, we ain't gonna see this. Just these two things serious about putting legislation through that will affect the Bahamian people.
Give me a few minutes. I'll come up with something, but I can't immediately anything that was really
My point exactly.
But okay. I hear you. The first part. Well, I mean, people do that. They go and put wreaths and other things on people's graves.
Miss Pillen, that's the man husband. She could go there every day if she chooses to. But you taking a group of supporters there, and then on top of that, you putting your picture on what's supposed to be a national holiday. I would have understood if it was Selene Pillen, Selene picture on the flyer, but your picture. And every year he does this and make it seem it's about him. This is not your holiday. This holiday doesn't represent you. Why are you making this holiday a PLP holiday instead of a national holiday? This holiday, I'm sure when the originators came up with this holiday, or when they came up with this whole idea, this was done for the entire Bahamas, not just for a group of people.
You sure?
So why you politicizing?
You sure about that one? I don't know.
Well, I'm hoping that they have the country best interest at heart instead of select few.
Well, it's always been a little obscure. It's always been a little bit, but okay, I hear you. Thank you very much.
Keep thinking about that.
Yeah, I can come right now. Someone sent me something, but I think that one was under the FNM. We're trying something significant. Help us out, folks. Text us. Maybe the PLP can send us something they think. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Good morning. Are you there? Hi.
Good morning, Dwight. How are you?
Doing well. Good morning.
I just want to say, right, with all the things that are happening in this country, us as Bahamian, we need to just stay focused, We just worrying about what Fred and Lady Pinland said each other and so much other stuff around us happening, It's like these persons, right, who are in charge of these government, right? And that's how come 5 years has come and nothing has taken place in this country. Because it's like they just walk out these, where they could have Bahamians off their guard and just playing with your head and stuff where they leave these major stuff happening in the country they never get to fix. Okay? We need not, that's why when these stuff come up, I'm not telling you how to run your show. I wouldn't even give it no air. I just stay focused on the stuff that needs to happen, like fixing these crime problems, taking care of that hospital is filling up with COVID day after day and nobody saying nothing, taking care of stuff that, like a lot of things. Just stay focused, man. These little trivia stuff and stuff, they ain't get benefit nothing with no row between them two. We just need some stuff to be taken care of right around us. And I'm so angry till I'm in loss for words and all. But let's just stay focused on our God.
Okay.
But these little things don't make no difference. All right.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate it. A couple more text messages. Some reaction to what the women's groups are saying. This person says here, these women really have some hubris. Okay. The number of men dying daily and the number of men dropping out of school, and the government needs to shift focus to them. What a very weird text. What? Okay. When women's groups start showing compassion for men and boys, I would support them. Until then, they need to go sit in the corner. What? All right, you've won the prize for the weirdest text of the last few years. I don't understand what type of Well, first of all, women's groups, right? So the priority will be on women's issues. If men are concerned about boys and men dying and dropping out of school, the men need to start talking more about it, right? And some of them do. But and stop killing, because it's the men who's killing and dropping out of school. So seriously, but I think you've got it all wrong in every regard, and because it's not the men looking out for them. They need to do it, right? So every single part of your text is just head scratching. And they are the mothers, and they're the mothers who are crying over all the people, mothers and wives and girlfriends and sisters who are crying out over all the men getting killed and dropping out of school. So stop. That's really unfair. I have never heard. Wow. You really should have saved your cents on that one, your pennies. That was I don't know who you meant to send that to. Okay. Let's read a little more of the story, though. I'm still surprised. Alicia Wallace says, quote, the Bahamas will go to the UN in a few months for the Universal Periodic Review. The government needs to pass the bill or explain why 4 years after recommendations were made at the last review of the UPR, as well as CEDAW, it has failed to do so. Now, Perdesta Moore, who's the president of the and founder of Women United, she told the Tribune that the government should be consulting with women organizations rather than just the church on marital rape. She said, quote, it is my belief that the government needs to take this a little more seriously and make this a priority, as opposed to just talking about their having more consultations with the church, the Baptist church. They've had it with other churches. So this is so important for the churches and for these other groups. Why are you allowing them to determine the date, I guess, to give? Yeah. She noted that officials do have the power to criminalize marital rape, adding that the government also could aid in funding women's organizations. Okay. Let's hear you on that, unless you share the view of the texter just now, that these women need to sit in the corner and be more concerned about men and boys. This person says, passing a lot of laws doesn't mean that you're working. The FNM passed the balloon. I think they're talking about the environmental bills with the plastics. Turn left, driving in a box by lights. They passed that because and stupid laws. You think they were stupid laws? Wow. Boy. Well, clearly the box one was, because nobody... I mean, the paint is faded. What did they paint that with? Was it like Crayola paint or something? It's gone and nobody cares. Intersections are blocked up every second of the day. And now there's mass confusion on the left turn. So maybe they were stupid. Maybe you're right. This person says, why can't you be balanced once in your life on all issues? You're a very silly person, texter. Very, very silly. Okay. And this one says that to that last texter, the women have been the ones predominantly taking care of the men and boys. They've been looking out for them. Yeah. Yep. The men don't seem to be doing it. I hear you. This one here. So the disabled or differently abled should fight for the men and boys' rights as well, too? And the cats and the dogs. Yes, that's right. Well, the men are too busy killing each other and dropping out of school to do anything. So everybody else should do it. Perhaps, I guess. The surprises keep coming. Keep coming. All right. Be balanced one day in your life. Now, which issues are you talking about, Texter? Which ones? Let me know. Let me see if I could change myself. Let's see. 323-6232. 325-4316. 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Yes, good morning, Dwight.
Hi.
Johnson, critical thinker.
Good morning.
Yeah, just before I speak about the response from the Attorney General and the PLPA at once. I've keenly observed over the last year plus that whenever the opposition asks the questions of government, they're more about deflecting and give non-answers. Can you extrapolate from the answer Mr. Pinder gave that an action was taken or just one that might be taken? And the point is that I think somehow we as a people need to become more in tune with government because the opposition is part of government, the balancing act. And for some reason, we always whitewash over the government's response, the administrator's response, because it seems to me like no answers ever done. There has to be an update on these oil spills. There has to be an update on FTX. There has to be an update on BPL. There has to be an update on Alfred Sayers' miscommunication inside of the House of Assembly. And maybe about 100 different questions that hasn't been asked. I think Candia Dames had a list of questions that's yet to be answered. So it seems they're mastering it. This brings us back to the number one economy that Minister Wilshcombe said concerning the distress of families in this. That's one of those people that was forecasting that we would have this food insecurity, housing insecurity, and whatever else. But the most important aspect of this is that the government has been in well over a year with their blueprint for change, talk about all the various digital economies, but there hasn't brought any legislation to enable those digital economies. In fact, many of those legislation is what is needed to have dealt with the what do you call that? What is that big thing that we have here in the Bahamas? Oh yeah, FTX. And so the question then becomes, what has this government really done in the last year plus that they've been in? The economy, like you say, somebody says the economy is stupid. All of the issues that they speak concerning these crises can be adjusted with a growth of the economy that they promised in their blueprint for change, and they said that they were well on their way. Let's use technology as an example. In the thing, I think did they not found a drone also in that police in the prison?
They didn't report it, but I wouldn't be surprised. Maybe tanks. Maybe tanks.
No, I'm simply saying that this shows that technology. I think we a few years ago we paid for technology to make sure that cell phones don't work in the prison, but they seem to still work.
Well, you remember now they were saying that in the neighborhood it was causing problems.
Yeah, but what happens is that's because of the technology we bought. This technology is used in churches and movie theaters and other places all around the world today, even back then. So the fact that you bought the wrong thing doesn't make the fact that the technology was incorrect. It simply means that you made the wrong purchase. And so you keep looking at all of these missteps we have been making over the years. And it's like I often say, is that we seem to have problems adopting to 20th century technology, and we are in the 21st century. And so, but the number one thing that I think we need to make a demand for, and I think an answer should come from the Minister of Finance and his supporting cast, is what is the descriptive prescription for growth of this economy besides the happenstance statements concerning some investments that may happen over 10 years? Because, let's use an example, investment in Exuma, $200 million. Yes, over 10 years, that's $20 million a year. Is there 25 people or 200 people? Is that like, if you say 200 people to be employed, is that over 10 years? And so we need some answers concerning growth of this economy, because in spite of the excuses we use like inflation and the war in Ukraine and everything else, we are uniquely poised in our industries, the very industries we are in, the primary of tourism and financial services, are actually growing because those are being shifted into this new environment. So if these are our two primary industries, we can't use that excuse. If they are rapidly growing around the world, then why aren't the Bahamian economy expanding in those two particular things, as well as branching out in the other opportunities that's available?
Yeah.
So I just
very
like
interesting
to on the
points.
economy. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. I hope people are paying attention to that. All right, we're going to take a break and be back more. A lot more very, very interesting text messages coming. They're coming from me as well, it seems. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9.
For Freddy, he nearly told one load. When he ran down Burma Road, just buy the tea for my hat and my new phone, and I just buy that. He thief some sauce off my line. That's my girl, oh my dad, even mine. New jeans, he rockin' on the blue. Brand new belt and a brand new shoe. I'm plus he thief my coat.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
7:31, time for your first look at traffic for this morning, brought to you by RBC. RBC's mortgage specialists can provide helpful solutions to make your dream home a reality. A reminder of the work going on Gladstone Road. The paving continues there at night mainly, and that'll continue for another few weeks. So if you can, avoid the area during the work hours, again, mainly at night. Residents are permitted only at that time on the street. Okay, in your real-time traffic this morning, Gladstone Road right now, busy from Fire Trail all the way up to the John F. Kennedy Drive roundabout. That's a northbound lane there. And your alternate route, Mile Butler Highway, also very busy, heavy traffic from Fire Trail all the way up to the roundabout with Tonique Williams Darling Highway. Traffic is busy at various spots along Fire Trail, mainly eastbound to the roundabout with Mile Butler Highway. Elsewhere, we are seeing some building traffic in spots along Bernard Road, especially as you get closer to Carmichael Road and just north of Soldier Road on the way to the roundabout with Independence Drive. And pockets along Prince Charles Drive, especially near Elizabeth Estates, near the Fox Hill intersection. Fox Hill Road busy for you northbound to that intersection. And as you approach Beatrice Avenue westbound this morning, building traffic on Bernard Road westbound and Eastern Road westbound. Robinson Road congested between Soldier and Old Trail. That's what we're looking at so far. We'll have another report for you after the 8 o'clock news. That's your Morning Blend traffic, brought to you by RBC. Visit rbc.com/take 60 seconds to connect with an RBC mortgage specialist. And time for another weather check, brought to you by the Chickcharney Challenge, coming up in just a few weeks. We've got a stable air mass that will remain across the Bahamas as the dominating weather pressure will drift eastwards through the middle of the week. Beachgoers should stay out of the water still, and mariners should exercise extreme caution due to hazardous sea conditions. For today, your forecast for all areas, partly sunny and mild, becoming fair and cool tonight. Small craft advisory continues. Temperatures getting up to around 77 Fahrenheit, 25 Celsius for highs. Lows tonight getting down about 52 Fahrenheit, 11 Celsius. Still at a very cool 59 degrees right now under partly cloudy skies in Nassau. For your extended outlook, you've got a warming trend and improved beaching and boating conditions expected through Thursday as the high pressure drifts further into the open Atlantic. So you knew it wouldn't stay around for too long. So by Wednesday, tomorrow, you'll start to see that warming. Partly sunny and mild, becoming fair and cool at night. Thursday, partly to mostly sunny and mild to breezy with a passing shower. Fair, cool, and breezy at night. We may be very close to the 80s by Friday. Again, that's your morning blend weather check brought to you by the Chickcharney Challenge. It's time again to claw through mud, wade through water, climb a rope, and vault the 9-foot wall in the Chickcharney Challenge, January 28th at Clifton Heritage Park. Sign up today at ChickcharneyChirren, CHIRREN.com.
Whether you're looking for your first or new home or even using your existing home as equity, RBC understands that your journey to home ownership is unique and your mortgage financing should reflect that. That is why at RBC we have dedicated mortgage specialists that provide sound advice and helpful solutions to make your dream home a reality. Best of all, the RBC mortgage team is mobile, flexible, and will meet you almost anywhere. Visit rbc.com/take 60 seconds to connect with an RBC mortgage specialist.
At Wendy's, we are different. We don't just use beef. It's fresh, never frozen. Our burgers are square because we never cut corners. Served hot off the grill with fresh lettuce, tomatoes, onions, and American cheese. We believe in fast food done right. Always serving fresh, never frozen beef. Order a hot, juicy Dave single, double, or triple. Made with fresh, never frozen beef. Now only at Wendy's. Different inside and out.
Florida Auto Parts can deliver all the auto parts your car will ever need, direct from the USA and from around the world. Florida Auto Parts provides fast delivery on auto parts, and we ship throughout the Bahamas, genuine or aftermarket, new or used, and all for the best price. Call Florida Auto Parts Trusted Parts Rep on WhatsApp at 1-786-772-8777 to save on your next auto parts purchase. Florida Auto Parts, the right parts at the right price.
Fidelity, we're good for you. With so much going on in the world today, only accepting cash at your business can be risky. Let Fidelity offer you and your customers safety, convenience, and the flexibility of a fixed or mobile terminal. Take it with you, on the move and on the go, because business should never stop. For more details, speak to one of our business development officers at 356-7764 in Nassau or 352-6676 in Freeport. Visit our website at fidelitygroup.com or visit us at any of our branches. Fidelity, we're good for you.
Sarah, how are you doing?
Okay.
Are you sure? I noticed you've been down lately.
Yeah, sometimes I don't know. I can't really put into words how I'm feeling, but I know I don't feel like myself sometimes. There's just so much going on in my life. School, friends, sports. Sometimes I worry about different things and feel stressed.
I'm glad you're talking to me. And it's okay to talk about your feeling. It's normal to feel changes depending upon what's going on around you.
Yeah?
Of course. All of us should be concerned with our mental health and our well-being. Good mental health means that we can cope with our everyday stresses. You can talk to me anytime when you feel like it.
Okay. We should have these check and talks more often and take things from there.
Message is brought to you by Baha WHO and the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
Ready to save? You can put $100 into the CFAL Savings Express Plan and make sure your money keeps growing. Earn interest on your savings while you're sleeping, eating, or standing in line at the bank. Ready to invest? Start by putting $1,000 into our mutual funds and earn interest there too. Because at CFAL, your interest is our interest. Visit cfal.com to start now. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations of Bahamians.
Is your 2023 goal to move into your own home? Well, future homeowner, enjoy another payday. Build or buy a home with financing from CIBC First Caribbean, and you'll receive cash back every month for 1 year. A home is one of your greatest investments, so secure one soon. Visit CIBCFCIB.com/homeowners payday for more info. Offer valid from January 9 through to March 31, 2023. Terms and conditions apply.
Technology serves to make our lives better, so why not your business too? At Custom Computers, we've been maintaining our knowledge and relationships with top tech companies since 1987 and carry only the most trusted brands like Apple, Microsoft, HP, and more. No company has helped more businesses build reliable IT systems than Custom Computers. You name it, we've done it. Call 396-1101 to talk to any of our business experts. Find trust in your tech. Count on Custom Computers.
Fidelity, we're good for you. Whether your business is in store, on the go, or both, let Fidelity work with you to maximize your customers' payment options with a fixed or mobile terminal so that you never miss a sale. It's safer than cash and more convenient so that you can take your business anywhere. For details, contact a business development officer today at 356-7764 in Nassau or 352-6676 in Freeport, or visit our website at fidelitygroup.com. Fidelity, we're good for you.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Sheesh. Girl, I'm about to have a panic attack. I did the work, it didn't work. That truth, it hurts. That damn, it hurts. That lovey-dovey shit was not a fan. I'm good with my friends. I don't want a man, girl. I'm in my bed. I'm way too fine to be here alone. On the other hand, I know my worth. And now he calling me. Why do I feel like this?
We're back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan with you on this Tuesday morning. We're talking about what's in the news, a lot of different issues we are getting through this morning. And we do have some breaking news. Police investigating another homicide, this one in Abaco. It happened late yesterday evening. Police searching for a lone gunman responsible for shooting a 28-year-old man. Reports indicate that the deceased had just arrived to a residence in Bahama Coral when he was approached by a lone gunman who subsequently shot him multiple times. The suspect then fled the area in a black Japanese vehicle. EMS responded, but the man showed no signs of life. Police are actively investigating and appeal to anybody who may have information to give them a call. Or call Crime Stoppers at 328-TIPS. So, homicide on Abaco. All right. Yeah. So we've got a lot of your interesting messages, text messages. You can continue to text us, 422-4796, based on what we've been talking about this morning. Again, it's been quite a bit. And you can call in 323-6232, 325-4316. 325-4259. All right, so just remember, I have to read this one again because, in case you were confused, passing a lot of laws don't mean that you're working. What are they for? What are they there for? What do we pay them for? Just to talk foolishness and to wish people happy birthday and say that I had a great time with the members of the constituency at the park on Saturday? Fix the laws, pass new ones, right? Amend the ones that people find loopholes to get through, right? Okay, but it doesn't mean that you're working if you don't. Okay, I hear you. All right, so I was again. Somebody just said that I'm very biased All right, so some of you are coming to my defense. Thank you. You're doing an excellent job. Keep up the good work. I never pictured you with a bald head. Wow, what now? Your voice does not sound like you have a bald head. Ah, gosh. Again, good job on the radio. Well, thank you. I think. Yeah, I still have here in my mind. This person says here, women just like to be the center of attention. And this movement is an extension of that. We don't have time to waste on women's issues right now. This is what they call a bot, I think, or right, someone just intensely trying to work us up. We don't have time to waste on women's issues right now. And then earlier when I said that the men are doing the killing, men are not doing the killing. Criminals are doing the killing, and the last time I checked, they can be mostly male or female. Women's groups have been on your show and communicated that they are not just concerned about women, but they are concerned about equality. You did the interview, and I have the recording. Okay, CIA. Well, also, it's not about men and women. It's about innocent and criminal. Criminals can have any gender, so don't try to make this about men. You did, Texter. You said that the women's issues need to be more concerned about men's issues. The women's rights groups need to be more concerned about men's issues, and until they are, you won't be concerned about their issues. You said that. So who's making it about men? You. Anyway, okay. Oh, boy. So the Constitution burning, daily voice notes, freedom fighter from the early 70s, MP who can't list 5 sustainable contributions his career has made for all Bahamians and who can't see anything wrong with the PLP telling his comrades to go quietly into the night. This party really is imploding before our eyes. If only they had one leader, as the Muppets used to chant. They go on to say, can we have a discussion one day about how important and effective Governor General is? They say GG. Is that what they mean? Governor General? Oh, boy. Okay. We have them as ceremonial posts. Can't they dissolve the government at any time? Why do they allow the nation to burn for 5 years and say or do nothing? We need to remove these people, these do-nothing people who only are about ceremonies and tea parties, and get people there who will advance governance when these parties play these mind games on the locals who got to pay for them being there. Hey, I'm willing to have that discussion. I think we could also just have the discussion about bypassing appointing a governor general and electing a head of state. How about that? Are you ready for that one? Okay. Someone who won't feel that, I have to be careful because this nice prime minister appointed me to this post and I don't want to annoy him. And so I won't dissolve the government because that wouldn't be cool. Somebody who wouldn't care about that. But we can have, yes, why not? Let's do that. Especially in this 50th year, let's have those discussions so we can figure out where we're going to go over the next 50 years. I agree. This person says the fact that the PLP campaigned on having a comprehensive solution for the economy and we still await an economic plan is indicative that we need to remain focused. Let's not allow ourselves to be sidetracked by trivial matters or matters that may be considered important but not critical. If we maintain this pace, it will be another 5 years and we'll remain in the status quo. Let's focus so we can demand of our leaders to keep the main things the main things. Okay, I hear you, Texter. Text us back. What do you think some of the main things are? What are you suggesting? Let's hear. Let's see. Okay. This text here. Yes, we read that already. Yes, read that too. Okay, what's going on here? This person says, Dwight, you are too balanced. For me, I wish you would be more biased. And they have lots of laughing faces there. Okay. Continue to text us, folks. 422-4796. And call in 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4316, and 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. 4796. Okay. So, again, we've been talking about a lot of these different issues, quite a few. We talked a little bit about the need for social assistance. O.B. Wilson was saying that the need is growing and more people are coming to them for assistance. We talked about Ryan Pintard and the environmental issues. Talked about Fred Mitchell, who's saying that people in public life who are mature in age need to move on, need to know when to fold them and hold them and all that stuff. And about what happened at the prison with the raid and all the cell phones and the drugs and the shanks and the Wi-Fi devices that they found. Fascinating stuff there. And also on the women's group saying that the government seems to be stalling on the marital rape issue. What do you think is going on there? Last year, the government, as you know, released the proposed sexual offenses amendment bill. The draft legislation would repeal Section 3 of the current law that defines rape. People were asking about this yesterday to see the bill because while it's been released, it's not in a place where you could find it easily, and the government's website has challenges, it seems. But we've reported on it extensively in the media, and Section 3 would repeal the current law that defines rape, adding a new definition of rape that recognizes the act within a marriage, and amend Section 2 to redefine what consent and indecent assault is. Under the proposed bill, rape is redefined as the act of any person not under 14 years of age having sexual intercourse with another person without the consent of that person, where he knows that that person does not consent or is reckless as to whether the person consents. Got that? The draft bill adds a new section titled 3A that addresses the issue of consent, which it defines as the active agreement to sexual intercourse or to indecent assault given expressly and freely by overt acts or words indicating agreement by a person who has the capacity or legal ability to consent. The draft bill met by mixed reactions from religious leaders at the symposium last year, with one pastor calling it, quote, the most wickedest and demonic bill in the country's history. The most wickedest. Wow. Okay. Well, so folks, you feel like this is going to be the long road, even though they are hoping that this would be resolved this year. And do you agree that, more time is even needed? We continue to talk about this issue year in, year out. 323-6232. 325-4316. 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. All right. These people are laughing. That's good. They got the jokes in. I'm happy to help you with that. Calling for, I think they heard us when we read out the words of the year and the Bahamian words of the year earlier, a few weeks ago. You want me to say which one now? You want me to say the actual words or the how it's pronounced really, or whore divorce? Those are the words of the year for the Bahamas. Whore divorce. And this person says, Dwight Mitchell said people in public life need to know when to go. Well, he and Davis are in their 70s. When will they take their own advice and go? Well, that's a good question. That's a good question. He said he's there to guide the younger folks. So, and what better way to do that from inside, I guess. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight. How are you?
Doing well.
Great. In reference to this discussion with the marital rape bill, right? I think, I know you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this is the most discussion and the most movement that I've seen happening in years.
Probably in history. This is insane.
Right, and it's there. It's happening. It may not be as quickly as we may have been wanted, but it's there. It's moving. Right now, what I really concerned about and what bothers me is that you hear so much and it's so much hype and you hear so much passion from course, the board in reference, especially the church, in reference to the Marital Rape Act. Meanwhile, we have so many cases of molestations. You have so many cases of minors, under laws dealing with that, with consent, with sex acts with minors. I think that it hasn't changed from 14, is it? Right?
No.
Why isn't there a discussion and more push with a lot of the rights groups? I hear a lot of the marital issue, and I agree that's a problem. But I feel as if our young
16,
the kids, I call them, they're the ones who are being left behind. They're the ones who are being overshadowed. They're the ones who are being neglected. And
you're saying you want to hear more from folks saying that the age of consent needs to be raised.
Right, and I want to see more done, because remember the Bella and all of these children and persons who, because, a lot of things aren't really reported. A lot of things aren't being highlighted, what is actually happening to our children, our babies in this country. And you have a lot of perverts, you have a lot of sick people. And these things, and then we wonder why the prisons are full. We are wondering why people are acting out, why people are so vicious and are so violent towards, you understand, even with the words and the way we treat one another, because there's a lot of things that are happening. Children are being abused in the homes. There seems to be no one actually speaking out for them, even with agitating to have laws, like these politicians speak about laws, too many laws, and these different things in Parliament. I want to see, and the children and the people, they're watching. Who is fighting? Where's our voices? Where's the laws or people agitating to change these laws, change certain things, even with the punishment and the time, being served or given for persons, agitating for things in reference to the young people, because hurt people. And these things, you see some of the things that are happening in this country that people are doing to each other. You never really saw it in the volume that is happening right now. And I think it's an effect of what they're going through in these homes, in some of these organizations, these youth organizations, where people, you have people prey on children and young people. They go in areas of opportunity, so that they can groom these people and molest them and do things to them. But I want to see more. We need to see more of a fight and of a push, and people speaking out, holding press conferences to fight for the persons who are the powerless.
Okay, so listen, I'm sure more people can say more and do more, but they are doing that. They are doing that. It may not be heard with the frequency of some other things that you may hear them saying, but they are doing that.
I know, but I just want to see, I just think we need to pull the bull horns out and then more fight, so that actually the defenseless can actually, because right, if you go and you speak to a lot of young people and a lot of victims or young, children or whatever, I'm sure your reporters, they will tell you. They will tell you the way they feel, and you see how they really their reaction, and they feel as if they're in this fight alone, because they don't see. You need to show example and show them. I know there are people, and I appreciate the ones who are out there agitating and working on their behalf, right? But I still think they need to see more, that someone that we really care, and you understand that we have their backs.
Yeah.
Okay.
I hear it. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Yeah.
Thank you.
And if you're not hearing it as much as you'd want to, then maybe you should be the voice, right? But trust me, you might not hear it. That doesn't mean that people aren't saying it. And we like to do that. Why aren't people? Well, people are. You just didn't hear it. And again, then you do it. You do it. If you're not hearing and you wonder why people aren't saying it as often as you want to hear it, you be the person. This is a very interesting text here, and this is going to be a problem, and not enough people are saying this part, I can tell you that. This texter says that you cannot pass the sexual assault bill without making it easier to get out of marriage. We need irreconcilable differences as a reason. And this is perplexing to me and many others as to why this isn't being included in this, because we keep hearing this silly excuse. But yeah, if this, you just because the marriage isn't going the way that you want it, that doesn't give you the right to take what you think is yours, right? And so if you got that mindset, then you shouldn't be in a marriage. Get out of there. And so we need to address these very backward rules that we have for divorce. All right, we're going to break there. I hope this is the radio edit. Yeah, okay, great. When we come back, we've got a lot to talk about. We're going to be talking about, as part of the 50th anniversary celebrations for the country, Shakespeare in Paradise and Ring Plane Productions and the Dundas Theatre are doing a year of Bahamian theatre. And we're going to find out about one of the first of their plays coming up this week. And later, Morning Blend Business gets a preview of the Bahamas Business Outlook. A lot more to come. Stay with us.
Supposed to love somebody else when I don't like myself. Like, ooh, guess I better learn to like this. Ooh, it might.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at Morning Blend 969 or Facebook.com/Morning Blend 969. Text us 422-4796. And now at 8:20, time for another check of your weather for today, brought to you by Bahamas First Insurance. We've got the stable air mass that's going to remain across the country as the dominating high pressure will drift eastwards, and that will continue through the middle of the week. Beachgoers still being advised to stay out of the water, and boaters and mariners should exercise caution due to hazardous sea conditions. For all areas today, your forecast calling for partly sunny and mild conditions, becoming fair and cool tonight. Small craft advisory continues. Temperatures today getting up to around 77 Fahrenheit, 25 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to about 52 Fahrenheit, 11 Celsius. We are up to about 66 right now under fair skies in Nassau. In your extended outlook, tranquil weather, a warming trend, and improved beaching and boating conditions expected through Thursday as the high pressure drifts further into the open Atlantic. So for Wednesday tomorrow, partly sunny and mild, becoming fair and cool at night. Thursday, partly to mostly sunny and mild to breezy with a passing shower. Fair, cool, and breezy at night. That's your Morning Blend Weather Check. Weather Check brought to you by Bahamas First. Visit firstonlineinsurance.com and select a Bahamas First agent to purchase, pay, or renew your car or home insurance 100% online, or just stop by any Bahamas First agent. Bahamas First, celebrating 40 years as the first Bahamian general insurance company. What's first for you comes first for us. And 8:21, time for another check of your traffic for this morning, brought to you by RBC. RBC's mortgage specialists can provide helpful solutions to make your dream home a reality. Getting heavy traffic on Milo Butler Highway, well south of the Fire Trail roundabout now, in the northbound lanes all the way up to Tonic Williams-Darling Highway. And Glasson Road also busy for you from about Fire Trail straight up to John F. Kennedy Drive. Fire Trail's backed up eastbound. Heavy traffic toward the roundabout with Milo Butler Highway. It's not looking pretty for you there at this moment. Westbound traffic on Carmichael is busy as well, heading to Coral Harbor Road. And building traffic eastbound to Blue Hill Road. Blue Hill Road near St. Vincent and Carmichael, congested for you, and especially north of Soldier Road on the way to the roundabout with Independence Drive. You're going to be seeing that traffic there. In the northbound lanes. Independence Drive, both directions, westbound and eastbound. Heavy traffic there. Soldier Road near East Street, that intersection looking congested. And Soldier Road through to Windsor Place. You're going to be seeing some heavy traffic there as well. Then we've got Prince Charles Drive. Not a pleasant place to be this morning, especially at Robinson Road and Soldier Road. The Robinson Road side from Soldier to Old Trail, heavy traffic. And at the major intersections along Prince Charles Drive, like Beatrice Avenue and Fox Hill Road, you're going to still see heavy traffic there. Bernard Road, similar story, especially westbound near the schools in the area. And Eastern Road, just well east of Fox Hill, up to especially Johnson Road, heavy westbound traffic. And then as you get into Shirley Street, there's work going on just west of Village Road, so keep that in mind. And you're going to see that traffic on the way to Mackey Street this morning. A bit of congestion at the six-legged roundabout and on West Bay Street eastbound to the roundabout with New Providence Highway near Saunders Beach. Expect some slow going there. That's what we're looking at right now. That's your real-time traffic and your morning plan traffic alert, brought to you by RBC. Visit rbc.com/take 60 seconds to connect with an RBC mortgage specialist.
Whether you're looking for your first or new home, or even using your existing home as equity, RBC understands that your journey to home ownership is unique, and your mortgage financing should reflect that. That is why at RBC, we have dedicated mortgage specialists that provide sound advice and helpful solutions to make your dream home a reality. Best of all, the RBC mortgage team is mobile, flexible, and will meet you almost anywhere. Visit rbc.com/take 60 seconds to connect with an RBC mortgage specialist.
What if I told you that the future is here? That is not some magical door we walk through, but a place we create. It's home. It's a place where you can download a 2-hour movie in seconds and stay connected to loved ones even when traveling far from home. Where internet moves at lightning speeds, smoother and more reliable than anything you've ever seen. This future-proof technology can take you to worlds that you can only imagine. The future is here. The future is home. The future is Alive Fiber.
Earning zero interest on your savings at the bank? With as little as $100, you can start earning interest on your money while you're sleeping, eating, or standing in line at the bank with the CFAL Savings Express Plan. Ready to invest? Start by putting $1,000 into our mutual funds and earn interest there too. Because at CFAL, your interest is our interest. Visit CFAL.com to start now. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations of Bahamians.
You are invited to the 32nd Annual Bahamas Business Outlook on Thursday, January 19th at the Baha Convention Center with keynote speaker Prime Minister the Right Honorable Philip Davis. Addressing the theme, Forward, Upward, Onward Together, our diverse slate of speakers include the Honorable George Smith, Amber Carey, Crystal Sands Feast, Tony Seymour, Roger Archer, Patricia Glinton Makolis and Nico Makolis, Eric Rolland, Vivian Moultrie, Dion Cunningham, Dennis DeVoe, Karen Panton, Haldine Chase, Mike Mora Jr., Dr. Charles Digges, and Crystal Rutherford Ferguson. Register now at tclevents.com to attend. The in-person rate is $275, or you can join virtually for $200. Don't miss Bahamas Business Outlook, January 19th at the Baha Convention Center.
Oh, wow! What's that under the Christmas tree? Up to $1,000 cash back for you and me? 10 lucky customers get a chance to win up to $1,000 cash back this Christmas just for spending $60 and over with their Scotiabank credit card in-store or online. That's up to $1,000 cash back to spend on gifts, gas, groceries, and more this Christmas. Visit bs.scotiabank.com for more information. Promotion ends January 28, 2023. Conditions apply.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Yes, man. You remember when we used to live on the island, life was so carefree. Sculling dinghy boats and diving fish and conch from out the deep blue sea. You remember when we used to go out on the rocks to look for whales and curves, picking jelly coconuts high up in the tree. We had a lot of nerve. Man, do you remember?
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan with you on this Tuesday morning. And this morning, we're changing gears now. We're going to talk about something very exciting that the Shakespeare in Paradise and Ring Play Productions and the Dundas Theatre have come together to put on. It's a year of Bahamian theater. We heard them talk about this last year. And they're going to be doing wonderful productions all year long to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the Bahamas' independence. And here to talk about the first one. I think it's the first one. Is it the first one? Yep. We are very pleased to have with us the lead actress in Still Standing, Love Blues Revolution. We have Rodrika Colley.
Yes.
And we have the director, Dr. Craig Smith, with us on the live line. And we're expecting Dr. Nicolette Bethel as well. But to both of you, good morning for being here. Great to have you with us.
Good morning.
Good morning, Dwight. Thanks for allowing us to be here. Actually, this isn't the first production. It's the first production for the year, but there have been two productions before this one. The last one was Music of the Bahamas. I can't remember the one that was in November, but this is actually the third.
Okay, all right, yeah, I was trying to remember. But the first one for the year, definitely. Yes. All right, wonderful. And so how many will there be in total?
Well, there'll be a play a month up until November.
Okay. Wow, that's very exciting. And,
Sorry, October. It culminates in October. We have the annual Shakespeare in Paradise Festival, so it culminates then. So it's a year from the last October into this new one.
Yeah. So before we get into Still Standing, tell us about that, why that's important, why that is a great way to celebrate the country's independence.
Sorry, I missed that.
Yeah.
Can you tell me again?
Let's talk about why that's important, why this is a great way to celebrate the 50th anniversary of independence.
You mean theater, a year of theater? I think, culture is really important in terms of, if we're thinking about who we are as a people, as a nation, and one of the best ways that we can do that is through our art. And the works that have been selected throughout the year, to represent are some of the best work that's been done by our Bahamian creatives, right? And they speak to who we were and who we are and, in many ways, who we hope to be as a Bahamian people. And I think that that's really important for us to sort of reflect on those ideas and, while we celebrate our, 50th year independence.
Yeah. I know you might be a little too young to answer these, both of you, right? We're all too young to answer this. But, I mean, just from when we were younger, does it seem like attitudes towards the theater have changed in the Bahamas?
Rodrika's a little bit younger than I am, so maybe she can respond first and then I can put in my 2 cents.
Yeah?
Right. So I wouldn't be able to speak to if it has changed
Right.
much, but I know that it has continued to develop.
Mhm.
And so we have more people that are interested in writing. We have more people that are interested in acting and performing and all of the other parts of the spectrum that are involved with the arts themselves.
Yeah.
And so because we have such access to technology and information from the people that were there before us and people throughout the world that do it, I think we are evolving into the way that we do things. And so I'm optimistic
Yeah. Okay.
about how we have been progressing.
Yeah. Craig, what say you on that?
I think that for the most part, we've always had an appreciation for the arts and for theater. I know when I was growing up, my mother was actually a part of the Dundas Theater, and then when we moved to Grand Bahama, the Grand Bahama Players, right? And so I remember there always being a part of that sort of that life. But I think in terms of a lot of people may not have had access, and I think sometimes when we think about art and certain aspects of the arts, many people believe that it's not for them. And so I believe that we've done a good job, and especially something like Shakespeare in Paradise has done a good job of sort of, bringing art to the people and exposing it and opening it. One of the things that Nicolette Bethel came up with several years ago, and she can probably talk about this when she comes in, is Short Tales. And what Short Tales is, it's about opening opportunities to encourage new Bahamian playwrights to write plays, write 10-minute plays, and then she encourages Bahamians who are interested to try out to direct the plays. And then also for each of those plays, we need actors. And there's been no shortage of any of those since that has started several years ago. So I would say that there's a great appreciation for the arts in all aspects, if it's writing, if it's acting, if it's directing, And so I think the desire is there. Maybe if I had to say anything, I would say that, I would like the Bahamian public to maybe support a bit more, because I think that that's one of the issues that we've been facing. We haven't had the kind of support that would be, that we would desire, in order to really legitimize the field and the area. And so those young Bahamians who are interested in the arts can actually make a living, doing what they love. And so that's what I would like to see.
Any idea on how we can get that to happen? What needs to happen to change that?
To change, that's, the question of the ages. I'm not really sure, because it's not about resources, because, I can use myself as an example, but I support local theater and whatnot, but for, someone like me, Bahamians travel all the time to go to basketball games or to go to concerts and do all those kinds of things that are, where they pay flights and they pay hotel and then they pay exorbitant amounts for tickets and so on. For something, a production at the Dundas, our prices are like $30 for adults, $20 for students. So it's very affordable. I think that, what would we have to do? I don't know. We have to appreciate our local talent and what we have to offer a little bit better. I don't know how we do that. Maybe we can introduce more arts in high schools and primary schools or whatnot, so people grow up with an appreciation and understanding how valuable and important it is. But it's just about, again, I think maybe where we place value. And oftentimes, I think many people, not everyone, but I don't know that we value what we do here locally. Because people will go to New York, fly to New York and go to Broadway and pay $300 to see Hamilton, but may not want to spend $30 to see a production of Sammy Swain, right? Which speaks to their, history and their culture. And so I'm not sure if I have the answer for that.
Yeah. Dr. Nicolette Bethel is joining us now, and maybe you can give your views on this, because yesterday we were talking about this on the show, that, you know, perhaps we need to market our Bahamian talent to tourists who come here more, so they will come and pay.
Absolutely.
Because as Craig just said, we go and travel to watch theater, and many people around the world do. Of course, tourists will come here and want to see what we're doing. Is that not one of the answers?
Yes.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Excellent. Yeah, no, absolutely. But there's something else too. And wherever you find professional theater where people get a living, you find investment from the government or from corporate Bahamas, and that is just something that we don't have. We don't have the investment in our theatrical community. We look at it as a hobby, and so we kind of expect that the people who go on stage are supposed to be earning their living elsewhere, which means that we're basically plateauing. We have a really, really, really good product, and we have great creators, but they spend all their energy making money 9 to 5. And so everybody's side of their jobs, unless they're in between jobs. But that's only going to last for a short period of time because they have to pay the bills. So we need government and corporate investment in our theater.
But you know that if the majority of folks around here tell mommy and daddy that I want to be an actor or a director or writer, they will get likely kicked out of the house.
But that's because, because they can't make money. But the minute you can make money, right, that used to happen to visual artists as well. But I'm not sure that it's quite the same thing now because people know visual artists make a fine living.
Yeah. All right. So tell us more about the vision for a year of Bahamian theater. What was behind that, and what you're hoping to accomplish in the end?
So the year of Bahamian theater, well, it's 2023, and we are going to be 50 years old this year. And one of the things that marks a nation is how it represents and thinks and talks about itself. And the arts are critical. And sometime back around independence last year, a little bit before, but around independence, we decided that we hadn't heard anything about what was happening in 2023 as far as the national celebrations were. And so the theater decided, well, we're not going to wait. We are going to celebrate 50 years of Bahamian theater. And it just so happens that the period of time that we've been independent is also the period of time that theater has been vibrant. And so we're doing one play a month, as Craig said, by a different Bahamian author to show people what our tradition is and to get people excited about being Bahamian, because I don't feel that we really are anymore.
Okay. So this month's play, still standing, Love Blues Revolution, by the Bahamian author called Michael Pintard. Well, look at that. Let's talk about this and tell us about the play, a little bit about the background of it, and then we can talk about this production.
I'm going to let Craig handle that because he's in charge.
Craig?
Hey, the performance is going to be based on Pintard's poetry collection, Still Standing. And so it's not a play as in, quote-unquote traditional play. So I've been tasked to turn the collection of poetry into production. And so I don't know if you and your audience are familiar with the Korea poem for colored girls who have considered suicide.
Yes.
Not the Tyler Perry film.
Okay.
Not the film, but the play, the Korea poem or play that the film was based on. And so that is about poetry, music, and movement. And so I decided that that's what I would try to do with the collection of poetry. And so, what I did was I moved around a couple of pieces to create a sort of a loose narrative. And hopefully folks who come to see it would be able to, follow the narrative. But it's broken down into 3 sections, as the title says. love, blues, and revolution. And so looking at how using the poems that sort of deal with those issues in a particular way to, just talk about, show our experiences as Bahamian people, as people of the African diaspora, as people who love, as people who've worked through issues of, even in terms of looking at our history of slavery and colonialism, but also moving through that and breaking through that and finding our identity and ourselves as people of African descent, or as Bahamian people, or as people who are independent and in charge of our destiny. So those are grand ideas that actually aren't mine, but that are found in, I would argue, that are found in the poetry. And so we're trying to bring that to the fore for our audience.
Okay, wow. So Rodrika Colley, you are one of the leads. Tell us about what you'll be doing.
Well, I am one of the performers for the play. I have the privilege of being one of the women. There are two, one of the women. And so what Craig did in how he distributed roles was he took the pieces and brought them to life through different people in what Mr. Pintard was trying to portray in messages by taking on a persona. So I am one of the characters that I'm nurturing as a female. I am nurturing, but I'm also...
If you'd like to make a call, please hang up and try...
But I'm also loving, and I'm passionate, and I am a little frustrated, and I'm getting that frustration out based on how I'm feeling. And so as one of the performers, it was powerful for me to be able to feel what Mr. Pintard was writing in his pieces, because although I may not have directly experienced the things that he is talking about, in some way I have experienced the themes themselves of what he's talking about. So to be able to take his vision and portray his frustration, portray the anger, portray the hurt, portray the disappointment that he was feeling as he wrote it was powerful for me to be able to do.
Give us a little hint of some of the themes. What are we talking about there?
So some of the themes is, well, like Craig said, is revolution and blues. But some of the themes also speak to slavery. It speaks to revolts in riots. For some of them, the tone is a little bit sarcastic about how people that are not like us are allowed to do things and protect themselves and support themselves in ways that they want to. But when we do it, we are labeled differently. We are labeled as aggressive. We are labeled as violent. And there's also themes of love, not just love of other people or romantically, but a love of yourself, a love of your culture, a love of understanding where you come from and how that can affect you, a love of understanding your culture. There's also a theme of some of the things that happened through slavery and understanding that I don't want to give so much away.
Don't do that. All right, but some thought-provoking stuff.
Dwight, can I say too that one of the things that that I appreciate about the collection too is it's sort of focused on the diaspora, right? While it looks at the Bahamian experience, specifically the Black Bahamian experience, it connects our experience to the experiences of others across the diaspora. So it's not sort of one-dimensional in terms of he connects the Black experiences across the diaspora. And he's writing in the, I think, late 80s, early 90s, and to some of the themes that are going on, not just in the Bahamas, but in the United States of America with African Americans, on the continent, in Africa, in different countries in Africa, and so on. And so there's definitely that idea of the diaspora and the wholeness or the oneness or the sameness within the differences, right? And I really appreciate that because, again, it forces us to look at ourselves as a part of the larger diaspora, which I would argue that we don't often do or we don't do enough. Mm-hmm. And so I appreciate that. I think that's an important part of what he does with the work.
Yeah. What's the size of the cast? How many folks are involved?
So it's I say five. It's a 9-person cast, really. So we have 5 lead characters. And they're archetypes, right? So they don't have names. It's woman 1, woman 2, man 1, man 2, man 3. Each of these characters represent a type, right? And again, like Rodrika, I don't want to necessarily give away too much. So hopefully when folks come and they see the production, they will be able to recognize the type through the dress, through the way they move, through what they have to say. So we have the 5 people who speak, and we have, as I said before, it's a choral poem, so we've included music throughout. And so we have a choir of 4 people, an additional 4 people, who throughout the show, they come out and they sing. And the singing is used to sort of alert the audience to, what is coming up. So like I said, we have love, we have blues, we have revolution. And so the music that intersperses the different sections sort of is used to give a mood to the audience. And so we have the 5 speaking parts, but then we have the 4 choir members as well.
Mm-hmm. Well, all right. So give us some details about the dates, when this is, and how people can get tickets if they want to see it.
The dates we premiere, I should say premiere, right? Make it sound fancy. We premiere on Thursday, the 19th at 8 p.m. It's going to be at Eccho at Baha, right? We're using that gallery space. And so this will be actually a really immersive experience for folks who come because, again, we're not in the traditional theater. And again, I think that that's one of the ways that we can think about how Shakespeare in Paradise is sort of, creating something different and opening up theater to different kinds of audiences. And so it'll be at Eccho in Baha. Show starts at 8 p.m. The shows are Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, all shows at 8 p.m. And then the following Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, I think it's the 26th, the 27th, and 28th at 8 p.m. as well. I believe folks can buy tickets online, go to shakespeareinparadise.org, and they can get their tickets online. They can go to the Dundas box office, get tickets there, or I believe that tickets will be available at the location as well on the night of the show. But I would encourage people to buy their tickets early because there is limited seating.
Yeah. How many people can you accommodate? What is the seating going to be?
I believe we have about 100 seats.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right.
And I would really love to see a sellout every night. Mm-hmm. And I would even love to see a demand for encore performances. So, hopefully
wonderful.
People can come out and support it and enjoy it.
That sounds wonderful. All right. So, Nicolette Bethel, you're back with us, right?
Yes, I am, and I'm about to walk into the studio right now, but ask the question because it won't be immediate.
All right. So they heard you just say that you're going to be at Baha because the text they were suggesting this, but this is a long text. Listen to this. I'll tell you offhand. The question is deeper than whether we support our own. Why would I go to New York and spend $300 to see Hamilton? Well, the most obvious answer is ambiance. Just the thought of New York is exciting, but put on top of that the thought of Broadway. So the first step is, how can I rival the ambiance? My suggestion, partner with Baha. There you go. They have an entire cultural arts center. That location automatically creates a draw. They go on to say, once you have the location set, you need professional costuming and design. I don't know if they've ever been to Shakespeare in Paradise productions.
Well, I don't know if they have any idea how much that would cost.
Oh, boy, that too, eh? But they go on to say, we have the talent, put the plan together, approach an investor, and then set your ticket prices. Link a charitable event, get the society patrons involved. You cannot make mistakes. Junkaners make excuses for why we only have a B-class presentation. We need moonshots. And they're saying for these ideas, they collect a fee. But yeah, what's your response to that?
Oh, I have a long response, but maybe you should wait until I'm there in person. But the first thing I would say is, it would seem to me that this person has never attended anything that has been done locally in Shakespeare in Paradise. That's the first thing.
Mm-hmm.
The second thing is that, I'm getting old, so I feel like that there is a sense of snobbery there. When you're talking about Broadway, which is like the pinnacle of theater business, and you're ignoring the vibrant community theater all around the world, which is what we are doing here, maybe you're missing the point. The other point that Craig said is that our productions only cost $30 as opposed to $300 in Broadway. I get the ambiance. I've been to Broadway. I was just there just before New Year. But the point is that what we do doesn't have to have that presentation. The play is the thing. The talent is the thing. The emotional experience is the thing. You don't need the costumes and the space to create that. All you need is a couple of people doing what they're doing passionately, well-rehearsed, and an audience.
Mm-hmm.
And can I chime in too, please? Hello?
Yes.
Yeah, I think too, Broadway wasn't Broadway until it was Broadway. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And Broadway became Broadway because, local people started going to productions that were as scrappy as, again, not to say that we do a scrappy production, but that's how it started. And local people started appreciating it and going to it. And that's how it became Broadway, right? It didn't pop up and it was, oh my God, it's Broadway. It had to start somewhere. And it started by local people within the community going and appreciating it and talking about it and supporting it and spreading the word. And that encouraged other people to come out and do it, right? Mm-hmm. And so I think, when we have these discussions, it's always the chicken or the egg. Like, what comes first? Do we have to have a Broadway for people to start coming, or do we have to people start coming and then we build it, to what it is? And so
I'm going on Morning Dan.
Mm-hmm. All right. I think Nicolette's coming in now. Craig, go on. The great points that you're making. Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's the point. I think oftentimes, and especially in the Bahamas, I think that we're very privileged people, you know what I mean? And we get to jump on a plane and go and, I don't have to deal with that when I can go to Broadway. And I think within our privilege, we sort of, because we're so privileged, we don't necessarily appreciate what we do have locally because it's always a comparison to this other thing that is so much better, that is much more funded and so on. Mm-hmm. But again, I think my point just is Broadway wasn't always Broadway. It became Broadway, and it was supported by the local people in New York who made it what it is now, right? And that's what we need. We need Bahamian people to support it. I'll compare it to Tyler Perry and Tyler Perry movies, right? There are a lot of people who, the elites who think Tyler Perry's movies and his plays also are garbage, right? And that's some people's opinions. However, the community supported him, and now again he is Tyler Perry. Mm-hmm. Tyler Perry didn't start off as Tyler Perry. He was supported by the Black community in the United States that supported him regardless of the quality that some people said, of his plays and then his movies and so on and so forth. But, in order for us to get to where people are saying we need to be, they need to support us.
Absolutely. You mentioned Tyler Perry. I have a text about that as well. They're saying follow the Tyler Perry model. Record and film the plays and put them on YouTube or videos so people can access them. I'm sure that is being done and has been done. And they're asking if they can access other or previous performances. That is done. I know that I've seen that before. But do you think that is a model that can be followed? Like we reach out to the video audience and spark the interest there if they're not necessarily theater goers.
Is Nico there? Can Nico respond to that?
She's coming to the studio. We're going to get her in the
I think that's definitely something that can be done, but I'll let Nico's. I only joined SIP about 5-6 years ago, so I'm not sure what has happened in the past, but that's definitely something that I'm interested in. We are having this show is going to be filmed, and we'll see about distribution and how people can get access to it and so on. But yeah, I think that's definitely a great model to follow.
Yeah, she's here now. Welcome to somebody's asking if we can put these out on video on YouTube so more folks can have access to it. And you've done that before.
Well, no, we have we have put samples on.
Mm-hmm.
We're a theater. Theater is live performance.
Mm-hmm.
We don't do that because that's not what we're doing. If we were filmmakers, we would be doing that. But that's not what theater is all about. And I think that, again, a lot of people miss exactly what we're talking about. The first one is, in order to be able to do that, you need to be professional. And in order to be professional, you need to be able to pay people. And in order to pay people, you need to attract audiences. Mm-hmm. And the problem is, we're not going to attract audiences if we're going to be filming our stuff and putting it on YouTube. Mm-hmm. Because that's not going to generate the revenue that we need to support the people who are giving up their time outside of their 9 to 5 to do this thing that they were made to do but cannot do in their country.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Okay. Right. That's a great way to put it. What else can we expect? This is the third month now, we're told, right?
It's actually the fourth.
The fourth.
So this is the fourth production. Mm-hmm. It's the third standalone production. The first one took place in Shakespeare in Paradise. Mm-hmm. It was First Comes Morning, and it was a play. Craig has told you a little bit about Short Tales. Mm-hmm. It was a play that premiered in Short Tales in 2019 as a 10-minute play, and it was expanded to a full length. So we premiered that in Shakespeare in Paradise. Then we did The Landlord by Sam Boodle, a perennial favorite from the early 1980s that talks about or responds to a statement that was made by a then sitting politician who basically said that tenants or landlords should not charge tenants more than the value of the property was worth. Wow. And so it's about a bunch of tenants living in a yard and their fights with their landlord over this very thing. Mm-hmm. And then we did Music of the Bahamas, which just closed last week. And for those people who, feel that, ambiance and presentation are things that make the play as opposed to performances and delivery and direction, I'll just say that for the last week, the beginning of the year, we had an international conference. The Shakespeare Theatre Association was in town, and we shared our productions with them. And their response to Music of the Bahamas was that it was the best thing that they had ever seen. Mm. Some of them said it was the best thing that they had ever seen. These are professional Shakespearean performers. This is what people are missing out. You can get it for $30. If you have a personal problem as a Bahamian going onto Mackey Street next to the Ranfurly Home for Children, you might want to check yourself because this is your country. This is your land. And if you think that the plant is not that great, we have a bank account. You could make a donation and help us make it great.
Mm-hmm. No, I've seen some spectacular productions with Shakespeare in Paradise. Some of the best. Really. Folks, experience it before you make some of those type comments. But we hear what you're saying. All right, so what can we expect over the next few months?
So we are doing, okay, I got to pull out the program because we have, we're going to be doing, again, a play a month. So the next play that we're going to be doing at the Dundas Center for the Performing Arts in the Philip A. Burrows Black Box, not at Baha Mar this time, is Woman Take Two, which I think many people may have studied in school. It hasn't been revived, I don't think, since 2010. So we're in rehearsal for Woman Take Two. After Woman Take Two, we're doing 2 plays by Jeannie I. Thompson, 2 one-act plays. One is Vicious Cycle, which is a drama, and I don't think it's been seen since the 1980s. And the other one is Father's Day, a comedy about a man who has a wife and 2 sweethearts. And
2?
Being a man is B-I-T-C-H is the first line in the play.
You've already cast these, or you're still...
No, they. Well, I don't want to speak for the directors, but we are in production for those.
Okay.
So we auditioned for the 3 plays that are coming up last night. And then in March 13th, I think it is, we'll have another audition for the next 3 plays. So we have quarterly auditions for the plays. The third one in the first quarter is The Children's Teeth by Nicolette Bethel in April. And then my brother and I will be directing No Seeds in Babylon by Ian Strachan. And then I need to pull out my list for the rest. The next one will be 2 plays, I think, or 3 plays, depending on how long they are, by Susan J. Wallace. Then after that, we have a play by P. Anthony White, who actually wrote a play about independence on independence called They're Raising the Flag Now, Mama.
Oh, wow.
Unfortunately, we can't find that script. So we're going to do another one of P. Anthony White's plays.
Okay.
And then after that, we're going to do 2 plays by Patrick Ramming. And then after that, we are going to do Right Around Summer Madness, The Setting Up by James Catlin. And then we're going to round out the year of Bahamian theater with You Can Lead a Horse to Water by Winston V. Saunders.
Oh, wow. Okay. Wonderful stuff. All right. So, is it officially now part of the Independence celebrations?
Not yet.
Oh,
Still waiting on that. So, yeah. Yes, we have requested to be put on the calendar and made an official. And we've had encouraging noises, but not encouraging enough for us to be able to say we are officially yet.
Okay.
But we're waiting to hear. We're
Yeah.
sure that it's about to happen any minute.
All right. Well, we are out of time. So one more time, really quickly, Craig, tell us about the times, where we can get tickets, all we need to know about Still Standing.
All right, so you can go to shakespeareinparadise.org, buy the tickets online. You can go to the Dundas Center for Performing Arts at the Black Box, get tickets there, or you should be able to get tickets at the door, but preferably get your tickets ahead of time. Show times are this coming Thursday is the premiere, 8 p.m., Friday, 8 p.m., Saturday, 8 p.m., and then the following Thursday, Friday, and Saturday at 8 p.m. We are located at Eccho Gallery. That's at the Hyatt in Baha Mar.
Yeah, the box office numbers are 393-3728. The box office is open 11 to 6. You can call also 394-7179. Or you can go to, as Craig said, it's online, it's on our site, but you can also go directly to Eventbrite and buy tickets online as well.
All right. And Rodrigo, how you feeling? You're
I'm good.
You good?
I'm very
Yeah?
excited.
Oh, Rodrigo's-
In the rehearsal,
she's ready.
and I'm
Yeah.
seeing it over and over again,
Okay.
and I still love it, and I'm not bored of it. Even
Wonderful.
After weeks of
No.
seeing it over and over again,
All right.
it is great.
All
The
right.
pieces are great. It's amazing.
break a leg, as they say, right?
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
looking forward to it, and every month, and we'll talk again soon. I'm sure as we're gonna have. Right, you have to come back to update us on the upcoming plays.
I have to come
And-
back to update you on the not such a great place to present things. And its bid to raise money to fix the air conditioning
still need
and
more.
renovate the space.
Yep. Okay. We definitely will have you come back very soon for that. Dr. Nicolette Bethel, Rodrigo Colley, and of course, Dr. Craig Smith. Thank you so much. And great talking to you as always. We're going to break for news and be back Morning Blend Business. We're going to get a preview of Bahamas Business Outlook. That's coming up. Stay with us.
Wake up.
Technology serves to make our lives better, so why not your business too? At Custom Computers, we've been maintaining our knowledge and relationships with top tech companies since 1987 and carry only the most trusted brands like Apple, Microsoft, HP, and more. No company has helped more businesses build reliable IT systems than Custom Computers. You name it, we've done it. Call 396-1101 to talk to any of our business experts. Find trust in your tech. Count on Custom Computers.
Fidelity, we're good for you. With so much going on in the world today, only accepting cash at your business can be risky. Let Fidelity offer you and your customers safety, convenience, and the flexibility of a fixed or mobile terminal. Take it with you, on the move and on the go, because business should never stop. For more details, speak to one of our business development officers at 356-7764 in Nassau or 352-6676 in Freeport. Visit our website at fidelitygroup.com or visit us at any of our branches.
Florida Auto Parts can deliver all the auto parts your car will ever need, direct from the USA and from around the world. Florida Auto Parts provides fast delivery on auto parts, and we ship throughout the Bahamas, genuine or aftermarket, new or used, and all for the best price. Call Florida Auto Parts Trusted Parts Rep on WhatsApp at 1-786-772-8777 to save on your next auto parts purchase. Florida Auto Parts, the right parts at the right price.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas. This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news, intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversation. 96.9 FM. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning and welcome to Morning Blend Business on this Tuesday, January 17th, 2023. Welcome back to our Morning Blend listeners. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan. This morning, we're getting a preview of the annual Bahamas Business Outlook, which is this Thursday. And this morning, we have some of the speakers and the organizer with us. Joan Albrecht will be in the studio in just a moment. But also this morning, we have the president of the University of the Bahamas, Dr. Eric Rowland. We have the COO of BPL, Tony Seymour, and we have Vivian Moultrie, who has a special role this year, coming up with the theme. That's right, okay. Wait a minute now. Okay, all right. So this is going to be very, very, very interesting discussion this morning. Thank you all for being here. Welcome to the show. Great to have you with us. All right. So as we said, Joan Albrecht will be joining us in just a bit. We were talking about all of these issues that are likely to come up with the outlook this year, and it's a very important year, the 50th anniversary. For the country. And, of course, Tony Seymour, you as the CEO of BPL, we got the discussion off air about energy and conservation, and these are hot button issues in the country and in the world. Let's talk about that. You're going to be presenting as well. What can you tell us about what you will be doing at the Outlook this year? Let's get right into this mic here. Mm-hmm.
Good morning. So I will be presenting on energy revolution. Forward, upward, onward, together. So for the forward section, we'll be looking at where we are now as an organization and where we plan to be in terms of the energy revolution. So where we started, where we are, and what we're looking to do in the next few years.
What can you tell us more about that? So many questions, as we were talking off air. Solar, so much interest in solar, so many questions as to why we aren't so far with the solar revolution. But what can you tell us about that without giving too much away of your presentation?
So we do have a solar installation in Ragged Island, and we are in discussions about solar installations in a number of the major islands, Abaco, Eleuthera, and Exuma. We do have a battery storage project that's ongoing that we expect to have commissioned soon. So we are moving towards the more renewable energy side, and we'll definitely talk about that tomorrow as well.
I'm ready to get to pick some more out of you in just a bit. But Joan Albrecht is with us, and the organizer of the longstanding Bahamas Business Outlook, and want to talk about this and just in general for those who aren't familiar with it before we get to our other guests, but what it's all about and what the objectives are for a Business Outlook.
Good morning, everybody, and Dwight, it's good to be here and to be good being interviewed by you. I certainly look forward to this.
Thank you.
Business Outlook, this is going to be our 32nd
oh, my goodness.
Annual BBO.
Almost as old as the country.
And almost as old as you.
That too.
Yeah. So the whole objective of BBO is to let people know what they can expect in terms of the country's development going forward. You know, how can I plan my business better? And so by attending this Outlook, you will find out from the experts, and this is what I'd like to emphasize, that in this room we have experts, and these people are going to give the facts, right? Mm-hmm. And also it's a fantastic time to network, to ask your questions, to get your questions right from the horse's mouth. You know, we like to chat a lot and we all have opinions, but we need to have facts. And so that's the whole purpose of Outlook, is to provide you with facts that you can then use for your own development and for your business. Mm-hmm. And we've been at this now. This is going to be our 32nd, and we're really excited with the fact that we've been able to expand this concept into it's an 8-island series now. Mm. And so we've identified those islands where you have, you know, a kind of a strong potential for economic growth. Mm-hmm. Like, for example, in March, we will be in Grand Bahama. In April, we'll be in Eleuthera. And then we move to Andros, San Salvador, Abaco, Exuma, Long Island. So that's the whole 8-island series. Mm-hmm. And I want to emphasize, I feel like the Junkanouas felt on Boxing Day that we're back. We're back live. And so
It's been
this
virtual
is,
for the past couple of years.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes. But we'll offer the hybrid experience. But we're back at Baha, and so people will get that experience, the opportunity to network. And I think it's exciting, and we have a fantastic lineup of speakers, and most of them are new. And I'm pleased to say that we've gotten a considerable number of women presenters, because my Zonta Club, they always say to me, how come your lineup has so few women?
Oh,
so
boy.
I've met their expectations.
Okay. All right. Wonderful. All right. So now I'm a little embarrassed because the theme is forward, upward, onward, together, the country's motto. And so I know when you told me this, I was a little confused. I thought that was that you're saying that Vivian Moultrie came up with your theme for the conference. But no, this is much bigger than that.
Bigger than that.
much bigger than that. You look far too young to have come up with that, though. Okay,
I'm 63 years old.
okay, so you were a young person at the time, and you look much younger than that. But let's talk about that. That's amazing, and more people should know your name.
So,
let's talk about coming up with that. How that
Morning,
happened.
Bahamas. It's a pleasure to be on your show, Dwight. I have been working with Mrs. Albury from time to time over the years on the potential for Great Inagua.
Mhm.
I am from Great Inagua. I've lived there basically all my life. I was probably 10 years old when the Bahamas was pushing towards independence. And there was a national competition for students between the ages of 11 and 13 to enter a competition where you would come up with what would be the Bahamas motto going forward after independence.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was quite an exciting time. My whole school at age 11 through 13 was involved. We had a principal. He was a dynamic guy, E.J. Bowe. You might have heard
of
him.
course.
And he made sure that every child who was in that competition got in. Interestingly enough, if you know the story of the islands back in those days, the government mail came by the mailboat. And there was no scanners, no printers. You couldn't duplicate a form. So each kid got one form. If you messed the form up, your opportunities were done. And so it was interesting. I had a dad who was always very involved in our educational life. He was big on education. So he sat my sister and I down, who were in that age group, and he said, you need to think about it seriously. What would you write down on your paper to guide the country into the future and maybe forever?
Wow.
And I have an older sister who was a teacher at the time. She's now retired, and he appointed her administrator of what we do. And so we sat down, my sister and I, and we came up with a number of different words. And then my sister, who was the teacher, said, well, decide what you're going to put on this paper. And so I wrote forward, upward, onward, forever. And that was submitted into the competition. It became a collaboration between myself and a young lady from Government High. And it was the Inagua Public School at the time, and that was entered. And the collaboration came to forward, upward, onward, together.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's quite an exciting time.
Yeah, definitely, and it's a wonderful motto. How do you feel we're doing? I ask everybody with that as a country. Are we
fantastic?
Yeah.
In 50 years, I think, and I hate to say it this way, the envy of the Caribbean for sure. Per capita, our income is among the strongest in the world, and we have miles to go. The Bahamas is untouched in terms of its potential. You look at science and engineering and technology and all that kind of stuff, and we have miles to go. So we're doing great.
Yeah. Wow. Dr. Rowland, first time we're having you in the show. Welcome. And we were talking off air, but we definitely are going to be talking to you soon, solo. But great to have you here this time.
Many thanks for having me, Dwight. It's a real honor to be here amongst these trailblazers.
Yes, absolutely. And of course, you're hearing in the discussion so far, education is going to play, has been, and will continue to play a key role in this.
Yeah.
From your perspective, and a little preview of what you'll be talking about.
Yeah, we are coming out of this COVID experience. We find ourselves at an inflection point in terms of education. Higher education, I would say, is basically in need of being reinvented, more or less. Upskilling of workforce is a key issue in any organization. As you may have seen, some of the World Economic Forum, I think they're going on discussing now in Davos, but in their report, I think from late 2021, they said by 2025, 50% of the world's workforce needs to be upskilled or reskilled.
Wow.
And this is the reality. So I will be talking about tourism and hospitality education particularly because I think there is another inflection point when it comes to tourism. And the good news is that if you look at early data, we're coming back full force. Bahamas is coming back full force. So we'll be okay. It is important for us at the university, of course, we are contributing to the National Development Plan and helping, among other things, diversify the economy. But certainly hospitality is such an enormous part. 70% of our GDP is linked to tourism and hospitality. So that and over 50% of our workforce. So we have to pay attention to it. But there are structural changes in tourism and in the lifestyles of our customers who are coming here. And I'll be talking about some of those structural changes and what that could mean for both the hospitality industry in Bahamas and also for how we do tourism and hospitality education.
Yeah. You mentioned the need to upskill. Let's talk about that. What does that mean specifically? Does that mean more degrees, or do I need to take courses?
That's such
what
a
exactly?
great question. That's such a great question. I think that we have to keep two ideas in our head at the same time, and that is we're still going to have students coming out of high school want to go the traditional route and go to college and get through, like probably most of us in this room did. But the other need is that there's a great discussion about the value of the degrees, and is it the degree that matters or is it the skill set that matters, and can you document your skill set? And I think that's the key moving forward into the future, is that those who have some education, those who have maybe a degree, an associate degree, a bachelor's degree, or even a master's degree, are running into the technology changes that we are seeing in the workforce, which means that we need to upskill. So anybody needs to upskill, whether or not they only have a high school education or they have a graduate level education. And that's the reality of the world we live in. It's a fast-paced, ever-changing, technologically driven place where we certainly, as having hospitality and tourism being a big part of our economy, we want to be on top of that in terms of the educational piece too. Because with all this technology, it's so easy to get that education delivered from elsewhere. And why wouldn't we ensure that we are the leaders in that field?
And the we, you mean UB, University of the Bahamas.
UB and the Bahamas in general, I would say. It's not just the UB. There are other higher education institutions who are contributing a lot to that industry as well. And I think that we should focus on taking leadership in that, because that is such an important part. Granted, yes, we are trying to diversify, but at the moment, this is an incredibly important part of our economy. And we have an incredibly beautiful country that is without any matches anywhere. And we need to take good care of that. So, of course, sustainability and these other types of ecotourism and so forth are going to play a bigger role in the future than they have played. But we really ought to be in forefront, because we have the facilities, we have the customers, and we have the beautiful climate and nature around us and all our islands.
Absolutely. All right, so we got a little preview from our three guests this morning, and so this is already shaping up to be a wonderful conference this year. But what else can we expect? Who else will be presenting this year at BBO?
Well, we begin with George Smith, the Honorable George Smith, who's really going to very, very quickly bring us current as to what are the milestones that we have achieved since independence from his perspective, because, he has been involved. He was there 50 years ago at the time, so we look forward to what he has to say. And the Honorable George Smith will introduce our keynote speaker, who is the Prime Minister, and we are delighted, really privileged to have him speak. He spoke last year, but he's agreed to present again. And this is one of the benefits of BBO, is that we have been able to over the years, have the Prime Minister deliver our keynote address. So that's really an honor. And then we will have a presentation from Alive, Amber Carey, who's the Vice President for Marketing Communications. She's going to speak on staying connected. And that's extremely important. How do we stay connected? And so she has that awesome task to deliver on that. And then we will move into our sessions, which will then look specifically at the motto, forward. So we will have a few speakers who will speak to how do we move forward. And this is where Tony fits in, because we cannot move forward unless we solve our energy problem. So we've asked her to talk about an energy revolution. And so we hope, I'm sure she'll deliver on that. But Tony, and before Tony speaks, we have Crystal Sands Feast, who is going to be talking about business, like doing business, the ease of doing business, and what do we need to do to address the issues that we face.
It's a big challenge here.
Huge. Crystal is up to the task.
Okay.
She's very, very good. And then we will tackle that really important subject, the future of banking. And Roger Archer, who is a VP of Scotia, but also the chairman of the Association of Clearing Banks. He will speak to the future of banking, the future of financial services. And so that will take us out of forward, and then we move on to upward. And we have a number of speakers there. Then we move on to onward. And then our final session is together. And with together, it's extremely important. It comes at the end of the day, but we hope that our attendees will all stay throughout the day, because we want to address the issue of community. We want to address the issue of public-private partnership. We want to talk about collaboration. Haldane Chase, who is a former professor at UB, is going to talk to the community angle, like the need for dialogue. You know, we kind of instruct. We're more into this instruction rather into this dialogue. And so we want to see how Business Outlook can address this and hopefully move the needle on this and to be more inclusive. You know, we're not really about integration, you know, and so we're missing out on this. So we're going to talk about that. And then the PPP part will be addressed by the Chamber of Commerce's chairman, Crystal Rutherford Ferguson, and Mike Mora. And we know Mike Mora, he has the APD experience, and now he has the Nassau Cruise Port experience. So he's really well positioned to speak on this subject.
Yeah.
And finally, we will have Dr. Charles Diggers, who's going to talk to the Doctors Hospital. And we know their partnership with the government, which continues to grow daily. And so I think is a lot of good information.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
And then people ask me, too, we have Dion Cunningham present, right? And we know that Dion is a musician. And so people are asking me, why is it that you have a musician presenting at a Business Outlook? And so Dion is going to show that music is more than entertainment, right? He's going to show the role of music in communications, and he's going to have his piano, and so we're excited.
Yeah, he talked
about
a little
that.
bit about that when he was here. I think it was last month, and it's quite fascinating. So I can imagine what he's going to say.
So
yeah.
we're looking forward to
Wow.
that as well.
I'm also impressed with you. You went through that without looking at notes. I don't know how you remember all of this stuff, but that's amazing. That's impressive Joan Holbury. All right, we're going to take a break and be back with more of some harder questions for all of you after the break. This is Morning Blend Business on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us.
Legacy College Readiness and Tours. Already get the first set of knowledge. Now it's time to prepare you for college. You're thinking so much you gotta do. Legacy will handle that for you.
Looking for a college connection that's thorough, supportive, and proactive? Get on board with Legacy College Readiness and Tours today. My name is Whitley Cargill. I am a student who benefited from Legacy College Readiness and Tours. Erica Morris, the president of Legacy College Readiness and Tours, ensures that you have a great ride through a program. You will receive unprecedented access to college information, college campuses, and college advisement based on where you want to go and what you're looking for. Expand your knowledge and your experience. It's tailored to you. Look forward to Legacy College Readiness and Tours. Get on board today. Contact us at 242-809-5278 or email us at legacycollegetours@gmail.com today.
We're good for you. Whether your business is in store, on the go, or both, let Fidelity work with you to maximize your customers' payment options with a fixed or mobile terminal so that you never miss a sale. It's safer than cash and more convenient so that you can take your business anywhere. For details, contact a business development officer today at 356-7764 in Nassau or 352-6676 in Freeport, or visit our website at fidelitygroup.com.
Hey, Bill, glad to see you back in the office.
Who?
Bill.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I think you're mistaking me for someone else.
Tom.
Nope.
Jack.
No.
Alex.
No. Want me to just tell you?
Nope, I got this, George.
No, you don't. Still not me.
Adam.
Not even close, man.
We're like a coworker that didn't forget your name. CG Atlantic Agents and Brokers. Good like that.
Okay, good to see you, Mike Johnshawn.
It's Mordecai.
Earning zero interest on your savings at the bank? With as little as $100, you can start earning interest on your money while you're sleeping, eating, or standing in line at the bank with the CFAL Savings Express Plan. Ready to invest? Start by putting $1,000 into our mutual funds and earn interest there too. Because at CFAL, your interest is our interest. Visit CFAL.com to start now. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations of Bahamians.
With so much going on in the world today, only accepting cash at your business can be risky. Let Fidelity offer you and your customers safety, convenience, and the flexibility of a fixed or mobile terminal. Take it with you, on the move and on the go, because business should never stop. For more details, speak to one of our business development officers at 356-7764 in Nassau or 352-6676 in Freeport. Visit our website at fidelitygroup.com or visit us at any of our branches.
You are invited to the 32nd Annual Bahamas Business Outlook on Thursday, January 19th at the Baha Convention Center with keynote speaker, Prime Minister the Right Honorable Philip Davis. Addressing the theme, Forward, Upward, Onward Together, our diverse slate of speakers include the Honorable George Smith, Amber Carey, Crystal Sands Feast, Tony Seymour, Roger Archer, Patricia Glinton Macolis and Nico Macolis, Eric Rolland, Vivian Moultrie, Dion Cunningham, Dennis DeVoe, Karen Panton, Haldine Chase, Mike Moore Jr., Dr. Charles Digges, and Crystal Rutherford Ferguson. Register now at tclevents.com to attend. The in-person rate is $275, or you can join virtually for $200. Don't miss Bahamas Business Outlook, January 19th, at the Baha Mar Convention Center.
And we are back here with Morning Blend Business on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan. We've got a full studio with us this morning as we talk about Bahamas Business Outlook, which is this Thursday. We've got organizer Joan Albury from the Counselors, and we have from UB, Dr. Eric Rowland. We have from BPL, Tony Seymour, and we have Vivian Moultrie from Inagua, and he's got a lot of exciting things to talk about in a bit. But electricity, we know this is going to be big. Listeners to the show know I'm quite harsh on BPL often. I don't know if you're aware of that, Tony. But
Aubrey didn't warn me.
Oh no, she didn't. But people are like, what? This impacts everything, and if we don't have reliable electricity, it's going to be very hard to talk about moving forward and upward and onward. What can you tell us about BPL and how you're dealing with the challenges?
Agreed, and we understand the need for continuous, reliable supply of electricity. And so our main objective now moving forward is not just safe, reliable, and efficient, but safe, reliable, cost-effective, environmentally friendly, and efficient. So we are looking into alternative energies. As I mentioned earlier, we do have a solar plant in Ragged Island. We are in the process of completing a 25-megawatt battery energy storage system. That's a project that's been funded by the IDB and the government of the Bahamas. And we are also looking at potential solar installations in a number of the family islands. We know that our mandate is 30% renewable by 2030.
Right, that's coming up quick.
Right, so we do have a long way to go in a short period of time, but we are prepared, and we are in the process of putting plans in place for getting these solar installations, battery storage installations ongoing. Additionally, the government of the Bahamas has taken on some projects with the project execution unit out of the Office of the Prime Minister, where they're installing microgrids in a number of the family islands, Michael in particular, and government buildings throughout the Bahamas. So there are some schools that have already started in New Providence as well.
Right.
So that, we're working closely along with them to make sure that the process runs smoothly, and we're looking forward to bigger and better things on the road to 50. We know this is a big year, and so we are definitely ready and willing and going to put our best foot forward to make sure that we provide the Bahamian people with the continuous, reliable, efficient supply of electricity that they deserve.
Tell us a little more about the microgrids for New Providence. We've heard that before. And also, what should regular customers, consumers be doing if they want to increase their solar usage?
So the microgrids, like I mentioned, they're projects managed by the project execution unit, so not by BPL directly.
Okay.
But we do have communication back and forth. So there are solar installations on a number of the schools. CV Bethel is one, I think. TG Glover is in process now, and Doris Johnson. So they have put rooftop solar on these schools, and they have seen a reduction in their consumption of electricity.
Wonderful.
So what the regular consumer do, we do have an SSRG program, is small scale renewable generation. So you will get a licensed electrician to come in and do the installations for you, and then you can apply to us. So we'd have to come in and change your meter. We do our inspections. We make sure that any energy that you don't consume that's put back into the grid, you will see credits on your on your bill at the end of the month.
Is that mandatory, or can I not to be a part of that?
If you want to have a solar installation, it is advised that you do let us know, unless it's completely separate from our grid,
Okay.
so that we are aware. So if we have linemen working in a particular area and we have the supply off, if your supply is back feeding into our grid, you can injure our employees.
Right.
So it's best that we are aware of your installations.
What happens in a situation like that? Do they?
The lines would become energized and they can get electric.
I mean, are you going to be required to turn off your power, or how does that work exactly?
You mean for your
Right. If I do have, and the power is off everywhere else, and I still have power coming to my home through my solar.
Well, yeah, we'd have to break that
Okay.
connection.
All right, so that's good
Yeah.
to know. All right. Well, all right. Good information there. And you're going to be talking a little bit more about this at BBO, or what specifically?
I'm going to be looking at where we started, where we are now, and where we plan to go.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Vivian Moultrie, you were talking about some interesting things happening in Inagua.
Yes.
And we were saying this off air that the potential is so great for Inagua, especially for tourism, ecotourism. And people have been saying that for years, though. Have we made any progress in that? Since I've been there, last time was about more than 10 years ago, more than 11 years ago.
Not so much project in the eco tourism market. We do have bone fishermen that come to the island, and they take advantage of the flats in Inagua because very little is heard of Inagua in the bone fishing market. So we actually have repeat customers who've been coming to Inagua for more than 30 years. And now their kids are coming and their grandkids are coming. But that is as far as we are in the ecotourism business. I would venture to say that Inagua, Great Inagua, and Little Inagua are eco-sensitive spots where you realize that Inagua is the home of the American flamingo, which is the Bahamas national bird. And so,
that's the full name of it, the American flamingo?
Yes.
Really?
Well, it used to be known as the West Indian flamingo. It's had quite a couple different names. It's now the American flamingo.
Oh, okay.
But they're the national bird of the Bahamas, and for that reason, when we talk about ecotourism, you have to be sensitive to all those things. How much tourists would you want to come? How much would you want to go out and do tours to see the flamingos? And all that kind of stuff will probably have to be controlled by Bahamas National Trust and the other entities interested. But Inagua has limitless potential. There was a study done by the IUDB many years ago, and it was said that Great Inagua has more to offer in the tropics than any other tourist destination with ease of access.
Oh, my goodness.
And so the potential is enormous. I'm looking forward over the next 10, 12 years to see what happens in terms of ecotourism development in Inagua and the southeastern Bahamas as a whole.
Right.
I'm excited by the solar grid system that we talk about from BPL. That will probably help to create lodges where you have off-grid power supplies.
Inagua's on the list.
Great, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, so we look forward to that. But the island is awesome. It's the second largest island in the Bahamas. It has one of the smallest populations in the Bahamas. It has one of the largest industries in the Bahamas, if not the largest industry in the Bahamas, the salt industry. And a lot of people who have not visited Inagua have no idea about the magnitude and the expanse of that industry. So I would encourage you, if you've never been to Inagua, come and see it. It's a great part of it, could be a great part of education. My excitement about a business like that is I would like every child in the Bahamas who probably between grade 7 and grade 12 to come visit that industry, see what happens, and realize while they're on a tour that I can own something like this. Because it was started by 3 young men out of Boston, Massachusetts, and why can't it be 3 young men from some part of the Bahamas that would own an industry like that, or in the future buy that industry if the sales come up. So Inagua is limitless, and I'm sure there are many other Bahamian islands we find ourselves in the same place. So in terms of communication, collaboration, how we build the Bahamas going forward, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, absolutely. And off air, I heard you talking about how challenging it is, and it doesn't make any sense why it's like that. To get to these islands, you have to go through New Providence, through Nassau.
There's another fantastic opportunity for growth and development. And this is by example. If we had a hub in Exuma or Long Island, where people can travel from the southeastern Bahamas or the Turks and Caicos or anywhere in the Caribbean to Greater Nagua and then on to Exuma and then to any other island in the southeastern Bahamas. Imagine what that could do for tourism.
Absolutely.
It happens now, but it happens out of New Providence. So tourists coming to New Providence can go to Andros, Eleuthera, Exuma very easily, but can't get to the southeastern Bahamas where this place is fantastic and untouched. You know.
See, this is where the whole public-private partnership model comes in. And when Dr. Diggers speaks about the Doctors Hospital experience with the government, he will speak to a model that he feels can work in other sectors. It doesn't have to be in health, but his presentation will be about that.
Yeah. Dr. Rowland, when we have you on one-on-one, we are going to talk about this in depth, but I just want to find out, we're coming out from the pandemic. Everyone's getting back to normal, it seems. What impact did it have, the pandemic, on UB? What have you seen? We know so many students dropped out of school, high school. Did that affect UB in any way?
Well, fortunately, the trend at UB is relatively flat. It does affect us. If we look at now, we're into the spring semester, and spring semester is always dipped from the fall. That's typical for any institution. But we were very lucky, I would say. There was a lot of hard work going on, particularly last spring and last summer with upping the enrollment. So we worked very hard to get that back. Of course, the other thing it does for us is that it has given everybody a different view on distance education, on what you can do with virtual education rather than face-to-face. And that's a good thing, because we are a nation of a lot of islands.
Yeah.
And we need to make that higher education accessible to students everywhere in the Bahamas. And we cannot necessarily require that everybody has to travel to Nassau or Grand Bahama or some other place to do that. We need to make that available also in a virtual mode so they can get the same experiences and maybe better experience with all the new technology. So clearly it has impacted how we think about program, how we think about program delivery, how we think about being accessible to the students all over the Bahamas. And of course, we do rely on an infrastructure, on the telecom and the energy side to be able to do that. But you know, we come a long way with that, and that was possible during the pandemic for a lot of our students to do, and some of them move home to the family islands, right, and did their classes from there. So we know it can be done. And we know it can be, and we know that some of those students, most of those students, have done really well.
Yeah.
So
and that continues now. There's still hybrid.
That continues now, and we just now we're at the phase in all of higher education and UB as well, and that is that when do we use what kind of mode and for what reasons, right? So we have a lot of reasons to use virtual here, but there's also technologies like augmented reality and virtual reality and so forth that gives you experiential learning via the virtual mode. So you don't have to be in a room to get an experience.
Wow.
And that is a game changer. And that's an area that we are bound to focus on as well. But for now, the development of skills-based learning, new graduate programs has really been a focus for us, and thinking about how do we reach students and what's the right mix of modes. Those are the things that we're still playing with in order to find the right balance.
But exciting times, it sounds like.
It's exciting. Yeah.
All right, so again, just these three alone, we can tell this is going to be an amazing conference on Thursday. Joel Aubrey, how do people be part of this? If I'm interested in attending in person or virtually, how can I do this?
Right, so they can register at tclevents.com and sign up for either the Zoom or in person. And we really want to encourage people to come out to in person and to network. And the cost is $275 per person, and that includes a fantastic, tasty lunch coffee break and and I always say a 5-star experience because you're at Baha, which is one of the flagships property, and so you're paying for that experience and hardly paying for this information that you're getting. But so it's $275 per person, but for groups of 5 or more, it's $250. For Zoom, it's $200. So you register at TCL events. And Dwight, if I might, we are not doing this alone. We could not do this alone. So I really want to thank the many sponsors, and in particular, I want to thank the Ministry of Finance and the Central Bank and Sun Oil and Focal and Ministry of Tourism, the Cancer Treatment Center, Bahamas First, and Doctors Hospital, CG Atlantic, Disney, the Kidney Center, and Bryland Premier. Those are our sponsors, but our partner in this is Cable Business Solutions.
Okay.
So just want to thank Charlotte Thompson and the whole team, Jeanette Thompson and the whole team at Cable Bahamas Business Solutions, because they supported us pre-COVID, they supported us during COVID, and now they're back again. So we are grateful for this support.
Yeah. All right. So it's going to be a wonderful time Thursday. Powerhouse.
Thursday at 8:30.
Lineup of speakers
and,
there.
We're opening with some violinists.
Oh.
Some young people. So we encourage people to come early
Okay.
and to stay for the day.
It's going to be great.
Yeah,
Thank you so much for being here this morning, Tony Seymour, Dr. Eric Rowland, and Vivian Moultrie, and of course Joan Albury, my former boss.
Yeah, we're welcoming you back.
Yeah.
anytime.
Okay. We'll see. Thank you very much. Looking forward to Thursday.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, we're going to take a break and then be back to wrap things up. This is Morning Blend Business on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us.
Earning zero interest on your savings at the bank? With as little as $100, you can start earning interest on your money while you're sleeping, eating, or standing in line at the bank with the CFAL Savings Express Plan. Ready to invest? Start by putting $1,000 into our mutual funds and earn interest there too. Because at CFAL, your interest is our interest. Visit CFAL.com to start now. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations of Bahamians.
Oh, wow! What's that under the Christmas tree? Up to $1,000 cash back for you and me? 10 lucky customers get a chance to win up to $1,000 cash back this Christmas just for spending $60 and over with their Scotiabank credit card in-store or online. That's up to $1,000 cash back to spend on gifts, gas, groceries, and more this Christmas. Visit bs.scotiabank.com for more information. Promotion ends January 28, 2023. Conditions apply.
And it's time for your morning business report brought to you by CFAL. The price control margins agreed to between the government and pharmacists to bring economic relief to the Bahamians purchasing medications fall away as of today. Bahamas Pharmaceutical Association President Shantia McBride confirming that individual pharmacies will now provide their own economic relief to customers as they see fit. In November, after weeks at loggerheads, pharmacists and the government agreed to temporary margins of a maximum markup of 20% for wholesalers and 40% for retailers for all price-controlled medicines. As of today, McBride says pharmacies will revert to previous margins set in 1977 of 25% for wholesalers and 50% for retailers. Deltec Bank and Trust Limited releasing a statement confirming that its parent company, Deltec International Group, received a short-term loan from FTX. This was revealed in a Forbes article, which explained that the loan amount was $50 million. The Deltek statement saying that DIG, the parent company, has been attempting to repay the loan in full since December last year. In the statement, Deltek Bank continuing to maintain that it has no credit or asset exposure to the FTX collapse. Read more on that in today's Guardian Business section. And the Bahamas Hotel Catering and Allied Workers Union intends to lobby to have redundancy provisions and the recognition of trade unions at hotel properties codified in law. That's according to President Darren Woods. He says that while there have been advancements over the years to strengthen the labor relations in the country, particularly within the hotel sector, lack of access continues to be one of the greatest challenges to the union performing its duties for its members. Overseas, China's economic growth fell to its second lowest level in at least 4 decades last year under pressure from antivirus controls and a real estate slump. But activity is reviving after restrictions that kept millions of people at home and sparked protests were lifted. The world's number 2 economy grew by 3% in 2022, less than half of the previous year's 8.1% rate. According to official data today, that is the second lowest annual rate since the late 1970s, after 2020, when growth fell to 2.4% at the start of the coronavirus pandemic. Closer to home in your Market Watch, recapping trading on the BISX from Monday. Your market movers, Commonwealth Bank moving 11,000 shares, closing at 358, unchanged. Fidelity Bank moving 50, unchanged at 1810. Consolidated Water closing at 294, unchanged. And Emira Incorporated, unchanged at 985. The BISX All-Share Index closing at 2,645.84, unchanged. That's your Market Watch. And that is your Morning Business Report, brought to you by CFAL, growing wealth for future generations. And that is going to do it for Morning Blend Business. Today, we'll be back tomorrow morning with more Morning Blend Business right after Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan, have a great day, everyone. Stay tuned for On the Clock with Aaron Green coming up next.